Showtime in 60 seconds. "45 seconds. "30 seconds. The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Speaking of tactical bags, we ordered another 100 of those, Lummy.
Oh, nice.
And I think another 100 dog harnesses as well. Do you have a dog, Brian?
I do. He's an old man.
He wouldn't want a Bubba Army harness.
He doesn't wear a harness. He's just got a collar, and he really doesn't even need it. He stays close to us when we take him for walks. He's a good boy. Dexter.
Is he scared of the world like you are, too?
A little bit, yeah.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
Welcome. The Bubba the Love Sponge show, Friday, July 21, 2023. And I automatically, Lummy, have a better feeling about this show because my human thunder jacket, Dr. Dan Muffy, my Dr. Dan Diaco, my little Muffy is here. Because I think that, I mean, Lummy, you and I are probably the only ones that, and maybe a few others can necessarily be intellectually honest about this, but the yesterday's show, I just had a kind of a strange vibe about it.
That's what Babyface does.
And I think what happened is, I think you and I were pretty much our same stupid selves, but Brian triggered Anna, and Anna kind of was a little bit different yesterday too, a little bitchy, just a little short. I don't know, Anna, you just had a different vibe about yourself, and it's not your regular vibe. It was you. I feel, and I don't feel as if it's your fault. I feel you got triggered.
I'm trying to think. I think it was mostly during the after show.
Well, there was one time I remember during the CBS story.
Look at Lummy.
Oh, yeah.
He's right there.
He literally was like, "Let her explain it, not you."
Yeah, no, Bubba threw it over to me, and then he's like, "Let's see what Nora O'Donnell has to say." Yeah. And I just looked at him and was like,
There were several.
It's like trying to poop out a sand spur. It just hurts and it burns and it makes your ass bleed. And it just sucks.
It just, Brian triggered Anna. Where Anna, I felt as if Anna had to kind of one-up him a little bit in the pricky stiffness area at times for the entire show. And then towards the end of the show, the after show, I was just kind of over it. I don't know. If you guys know that I kind of just abruptly quit the show and then left quietly.
Yeah.
That's when you can usually tell.
Is that my fault?
No. It's not your fault.
Oh, okay.
It's not. We can't see you though. You're just.
I think they're working on my camera.
You're just a black hole.
Maybe
right
that's
now.
For the best.
Maybe
never looked better.
Maybe
I'm sure that's what someone's gonna say. So I'm gonna say it first.
Maybe we should just put a really hot caricature of you right there.
Thanks.
Yeah, AI.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
AI Anna.
Maybe we just get an AI program and have run like 10 hours of Anna through it, and then.
Can we do a little filter though, like make it have bigger boobs? Smaller
I'm
earlobes.
sure this exercise is going to be great for my self-esteem.
Dan.
What?
Don't
I want AI Anna with Big old giant.
Big jugs.
Jugs.
Well, I got big
Jugs,
delts,
yeah.
so that's all you
No,
got.
listen,
And delts.
But see, here's the
delts
thing.
and jugs.
Here's the thing, Anna. You don't realize, and I do not want you to think that I'm being Steven Crowder and trying to push some.
Trying to show me your penis?
No, not what I'm not. One, I'm not trying to do that. But two, I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable.
Oh, right.
So
because that never happens around here.
No, but
Sorry.
I want to go on record by saying, always, if you're ever uncomfortable in a sexual,
Pray tell.
then
Yeah, but you qualified it with sexual. I never feel sexually uncomfortable, but just
I don't think I don't
you put
think
me in a wrist lock sometimes.
I don't think I could get canceled or you could sue me because you felt just uncomfortable. I think in today's
Again, Batman.
Well, okay, all right. Anyway, that being said, Anna,
Yeah.
I want you to not be offended by what I'm going to say because I say it in parody, and I do not say it, like I just want you to just be cool on what I'm going to say
This is
next.
usually when people. This is the preface people say before they say something really
yeah.
offensive.
Anna, just imagine it's that gorilla on his shirt talking.
Yeah. Just imagine
All
that,
right, I'm
which
bracing
is my
myself.
high school prom picture.
I'm bracing myself.
That's my high school prom picture right there. So anyway, you.
Yeah.
I can you imagine, Dan, if you did do like some 200 and
Oh, Jesus.
85.
now hold on,
Yeah.
everybody.
Pow.
Don't anybody get a hold of me here. 'Cause I'm-
Peeled $100.
Oh, I love
thank
you know
you.
what? Actually, Lummy, we had after hours trading, and I think Nikki Peeled was one of them last night.
Yes, he was.
John Kostika and Brad from Alberta, all after hours, both of those on PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, after hours trading. Thank you, John Kostika, and thank you, Nikki Peeled, especially with your hot wife. So, that being said, Anna, so Dan, do not start getting, like when I told you, hey, Dan, imagine throwing some, 295s on her or some 305s.
Which
or
would
some
bring me
two-
to what,
some
like a
two-
C?
To a full B.
Full B, small C.
Full,
All right.
full B,
Okay.
smaller C.
Right.
But so
To perfect.
perfect. And then Anna, here's where you don't understand.
Yeah.
Most women that get a breast augmentation don't have the delts or the shoulders
Right.
that you have.
Right.
And so it doesn't look it looks sexy. But it looks even sexier when a woman has an upper body support system to really, really, really pop those jugs.
Right.
So, I mean, like
it also makes the waist look smaller when the shoulders are larger.
Right.
And it makes your vagina feel better, too.
Oh, it does? Interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't know if that was a selling point or not, damn it.
Absolutely, yeah. You're just more
Wow.
aroused. You feel more
Listen, Mrs.
sexual. It's just
Listen,
the whole
Mrs.
thing works better.
This is Mrs. Johnson from Carrollwood. When I put these big delts and nice shoulders and but teeny weeny little bacon strips there, when I put these 295s on you, not only is your whole upper body just going to really pop because you got the shoulders and the delts to match it, but also your vagina gets that much better too.
Oh, wow.
And your waist gets smaller. It's
Sold.
perfect.
Dan says that your vagina speaks to your boobies.
Yes, they
But
talk.
They have a relationship.
Yes, they do. Sister girls
You got to think, man. Women's breasts and vaginas
are connected.
Are probably do have a little bit of a relationship because that's all we want to paw at.
It's absolutely
Primary
true. And most
secondary
girls.
sexual characteristics.
I'm sorry.
What's
Yeah, go
that?
ahead.
What's that, Anna?
It's a primary and secondary sexual characteristics.
Right. So they have to be in concert together, right?
Yeah.
If you got a killer vagina and bad boobs.
Well, you got to think like the arousal response involves your
Both.
breaths.
Right. And most
Breaths-
people
breaths as
orgasm.
well, yeah.
Most people have an orgasm while their nipples are erect. Most people have erect nipples during an orgasm. So there's absolutely connection.
My nipples are erect all the time.
Right.
I mean, man.
That explains a lot.
So anyway, Anna, what I was saying is,
He's about to orgasm. at any moment.
what I'm saying
Constantly.
is, I think Brian triggered you yesterday into being just a little more on edge.
Probably,
Now, let me
but
ask you a
I
question.
think
Did you drive home at night? Did you replay?
I
any?
did.
Okay, God, I know you. I do
Oh my
know
god!
you.
It was the after show though.
All right, and did you replay it while you were driving home?
Yeah.
All right, and so what was your synopsis?
That was like F that guy. But then also I was kind of mad at myself for being so easily triggered because I think that I'm pretty stoic most of the time, but that's like a 90%, and then there's that 10% where someone says something, you just kind of like snags your toenail and then it starts to pull and you're just like F you just like lose control. So I try to I try to stay as stoic as possible, but didn't happen yesterday.
I was so frustrated over you two that, Lummy, you saw how I left the studio.
Yes, you did.
I thought you said
left.
it wasn't my fault.
No. You two were the irritation. It wasn't initiated or caused by you. Does that make a sense or no?
No.
It was the interaction. It wasn't your fault.
Well, it wasn't your fault.
Right.
It was that you got triggered by him, but you did participate in my irritation. My irritation was caused somewhat by you. I'm not saying that you naturally and organically meant to act that way.
Well, I think,
and it's not you. That's usually not you.
It's not you. It's
well, I
him.
think why I got so frustrated was because when I was kind of having your back with that caller, like echoing what you were saying, then you both turned on me for agreeing with you. And then that pissed me off because I'm like, what the hell? When you called that guy a pussy, you go, yeah, you're a pussy. And you're like, hey, hold on a second. I'm like, wait, what?
But here's what you got to understand. That's probably something we need to talk about. If I call a man a pussy.
Yes, you're the alpha man and I'm your side bitch.
Well, but
that's how you said it yesterday. So
I mean,
your words are mine.
I know that's probably not, but it's kind of true. Like as a man, this doesn't even have anything to do with the show. This is just kind of man law. Like Dan, if you were having a fight with your neighbor and you called him a pussy, or he called you a pussy. And
then Sophia chimed in over my shoulder.
No.
Yeah, you big pussy.
Yeah, or your wife.
I'd give him a big hug and a kiss.
No, well.
Like you learned it.
No. Oh, no, let me reverse it. The guy calls you a pussy.
What?
And his daughter or wife chimes in. That's right, Dr. Diaco, you're a pussy.
Yeah, I'm throwing a rock at her.
But I'm just saying, does it not, coming from him is one thing. Right. Having his bitch or his wife or his sister, any other female that's related to him, reiterate that. Calling a man a pussy is
she doesn't have standing to say it. It's like a white person saying the N-word.
Well, I wasn't going to go there.
You shouldn't do it.
I wasn't going to go there.
You shouldn't do it. Girls shouldn't call a guy a pussy.
Yeah. So on the show, Anna, you
can't.
You'd
smash her.
You can literally parrot 99% of anything I'm telling somebody, but not when I'm belittling a man. Like when I'm engaging or belittling it.
And he was a pussy.
Okay, I understand it's fun.
So I was just kind of stating the obvious.
That's great. But I'm telling you not to do it.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Just. I mean, you just
doesn't fit you.
Can I call him a bitch?
No.
Oh, sorry.
You can just say, yeah, you tell him, Big Papa, or whatever.
Yeah. Cheer on Bubba, exactly. Instead of
stay out of it. I just can't let you. A lot of people, on a lot of guys on the show are rooting for me right now, saying, "Yeah, Bubba, you got to set her straight on that.
Oh, okay.
She can't call. She just can't." And I don't know of a lot of shows where you could, to be honest with you.
Well, why can't we be the first?
Well, because it's man law.
Oh.
It's not radio. It's not radio.
That guy was hardly a man.
You have to know your lane.
Oh, sorry.
See, you're fighting me on this.
Okay,
you're coming up with excuses.
Sorry.
Trying to do little one-liner, Johnny B one-liners on me. He wasn't a man. He was a pussy. He was a bitch. Just if you could just please not fight me on this.
I will not fight you on this.
And just say, okay, Bubba.
I'm gonna tap out.
Just say
double tap.
Because I feel very, I felt very vehemently about this.
Yes.
Like this is, for real. Like I'm being for real.
Well, it clears up a lot of my confusion because I didn't understand why you both turned on me after I was agreeing with you.
Well, I only turned on you because you called a listener that's a man a bitch after I did, and I just don't think that's your place.
Okay.
And Babyface just tried to babyface it.
Oh, what he tried to do?
Oh, that he went totally against Anna and you because, the fans weren't really happy with him yesterday. So then he tried to get that guy's back.
Yeah.
So he went against Anna.
Counter-programming.
Brian, I think you overthink your counter-programming way too much. I think you should come in here and try to be a little more natural and just try to be the little flaking lib that you are.
May I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
Can I call Babyface a bitch?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Even after you do. So if I co-sign on that, if you're like, Babyface, you're a little pussy, and I go, yeah, you're a pussy.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Within these four walls.
All right. And it doesn't apply to Babyface.
And I think.
No, it doesn't apply to our significant others. Like, I don't want you calling, any I don't want you calling
Danny a pussy.
Or,
I have more tact than that.
Yeah, I understand, but
come on.
within our radio world, if Rhett was being a little pussy, you could, absolutely. That's quite effective.
Okay, great.
And we like hearing a girl say that.
Yeah, we like that, especially when it's.
They call Red a pussy.
And I mean, listen, you don't know that guy.
That's a pussy.
So listen, hold on. You don't the guy that you called a pussy on the air. You don't really know that guy. We really neither do I. We really don't know. But you really do know these people. So that gives you the ability, if you want to call them a pussy. Yeah,
Great.
Absolutely. Just like we can call you a little bitch.
You do all the time.
I'm just saying. Like, Anna, Lummy, you could turn around and say, Anna, quit being a bitch.
Anna, quit being a bitch.
Oh, sorry. I'll try.
You
better.
even say it like a bitch, Lummy.
Anna, quit trying to stop being a bitch.
You gotta be more alpha and mean about it. Anna, quit being a bitch.
Anna, quit being a bitch.
And you're even a bitch when you're trying to call a bitch a bitch.
Bitch.
You even bitch out bitch.
It's hard to take him seriously with the little man bun.
Man buns are in, kid.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Skateboard.
Man buns are in, kid. Lummy?
Yes.
Perhaps. But not when you're 37 years old with a kid. I'm sorry, not when you're 40 years old with a kid,
Why not?
Yeah,
because even Russell Brand doesn't do it.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
he does. They all do it. Even football players, soccer
50.
players,
Really?
Let me keep the man bun.
I do my hair when
It's an
it's
aesthetic.
having it down.
Yeah, but I love it when it's down.
I know, it's so sexy.
I just wish we could grow it longer. I wish we could grow it like as long as Greg Allman or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Meatloaf.
Oh, I'm trying. I can't make my hair grow faster.
Really? Does your hair grow slowly? Like, do you have hair problems?
No, he's got curly problems. It
Yeah.
curls
it just
up.
gets puffy, like slash.
He gets like a black guy wet curl.
Yes, yeah.
Kind of deal.
Exactly.
Jerry curl.
Now,
Yeah,
let me.
I'm
Have you
working on
ever
that for my-
had how chicks that got curly hair can straighten their hair with those hair straighteners?
It breaks.
We did this on the show.
It breaks.
Yeah, it breaks, which makes it a little bit shorter. Plus, it just curls back up like in 12 hours, especially now with the humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
Girl's best friend.
So you got you got kind of bitch hair and a little bit like my hair is not really affected by the humidity. Dan, is your hair
also put glue
affected
in
by
your
the
hair.
I mean, mine, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, the gel
we wear
protects it.
short.
Well, the gel does,
And
but
hold on, but our hair is a little shorter, so
Right.
it's not as much. It's not as much to be affected by. Whereas you and Anna have very long hair, so there's a lot of volume or hair, if you will, to be affected.
Yeah.
Well, Dan's also said too that his curls up and kind of makes a little
Yeah,
fro when he
looks
gets out.
stupid.
Which is the Italian
Right.
thing.
Yeah,
It looks stupid.
You look, could you come in with your Jerry curl one day, Dan?
I don't know, man. My longest drought ever was when I tried to grow my hair long.
You did.
Oh yeah, it was like a.
How long did you try to dry
vagina
it?
repellent?
How long did you try to do
For about
that?
3 or 4 months.
When?
I did it while I was in medical school. It was right when that Madonna video came out, and that guy had that long hair that was all the same length. I was like, I want to look like him.
But yours grew up instead of down.
Did you get like an afro?
Yeah, and then I got it straightened and it all broke off. And
really?
then I had really bad hair. Then I had lip D hair with curls coming in underneath. It was like I had this curly afro with like lip dead stuff.
On that picture that you pay homage to, the Deca Dan. That's Deca Dan.
That's right, Deca
Yeah,
Dan.
that's full on normal hair.
How is Dan? Can you show the camera Deca Dan? His hairdo as when he was Deca Dan.
That's just regular old summer hair.
No,
Short on the side, short in the back, a little longer on top.
Well, it looks a little.
Just it was healthy.
It looks super full.
Yeah.
Super Italian.
Short on the
super
sides,
rugged. Now,
short on the back.
what were you weighing? Let me raise the picture up just a little bit so we can get. Yeah, there we go.
$185.
Really?
Yeah.
Look
Benching about 360.
Look at that. Now, is that the Jersey Shore or is that down here?
That's Jersey Shore.
Now, when you looked like that and you were rolling through the Jersey Shore, I mean, did you even put your shirt on ever?
No, I tried to never wear a shirt.
Ever?
Never. And I was like the Witcher, man. I was slaying everything.
Oh, I bet you were.
Oh my God.
Did you slay? Do you think you've slayed from every state in America?
No.
Oh.
Why would you want to?
Well, I mean, at the Jersey
There's
Shore.
a couple of the girls up from North Dakota.
I was gonna say.
What I'm saying is, like,
The cows in Wisconsin, no offense.
when you're spending three months at the Jersey Shore,
Right.
that's probably a melting pot for a lot of people to vacation.
Yeah, but
so
really
you
it's
do
regional.
so you do get. Oh, so you don't get
very
like
regional.
you don't
No.
get like a Portland, Oregon, bitch.
Never.
No.
It's all like
what's
Virginia to Maryland, Pennsylvania,
probably-
a little New York and Jersey.
Any Wisconsin?
Nope.
Any Indiana?
Nope. Some Florida. Some East
Ohio?
Coast. Nope. Yeah, maybe a little Ohio. Yeah,
so
a little bit of
Ohio
Ohio
might be as far west
Yeah.
as it goes.
That's about it.
Ohio, Tennessee, West Virginia, probably a ton of Pennsylvania.
Ton of Pennsylvania and Jersey, some from New York,
Yeah.
but mostly it's like Pennsylvania.
Now where is the actual boardwalk geographically located? In what city?
Most of the
send me a
towns-
map. Send me a map of Dan's of. I want to
the
see
shore?
I want to see geographically
Ocean City.
on a map. I want to see geographically on a map.
Well, most of those little towns have their own boardwalk. The major boardwalks are Atlantic cities, Ocean cities, and Wildwoods. They're the ones with the most rides.
I did a couple of when I was heard in Philadelphia. I did a couple appearances in Wildwood. During spring break.
That's cool.
And not during spring break, but during I forget whatever.
Set your map.
And you did?
Yes.
And is Wildwood of the three? Is Wildwood, where does it rank? Last?
Well, it's probably the craziest boardwalk. It would be probably the most fun, I think, in your 20s. Atlantic City is pretty much dominated by the casinos, and then the Ocean City boardwalk's more of a family boardwalk. There's no alcohol, and it's just safer.
Oh, so the Ocean. So hold on.
Ocean City is kind of
All right.
a pussified town.
All
It was
right.
a dry town.
Here we
really.
go now. So you got So you have the Atlantic City boardwalk,
Right, which was like the legendary boardwalk where the
which
horse
was
used
actually
to
was
dive.
hold on, where that's where the original boardwalk started.
Pretty much, yes.
Because I think Ocean City and Wildwood, they didn't boardwalk it until after they saw how well Atlantic City did.
Probably, yes.
All right. So Atlantic City is the original boardwalk where, like in the 20s and stuff like that, when
Right.
the rich people from New York would go down and vacation, sometimes they would go to the Ocean City, New Jersey boardwalk, and
I
that's
see.
where all the carnival, the carnival atmosphere was.
Right, they had the
right?
horse jumping off the tower. I
Yeah.
saw that when I was a kid.
Right. So then,
Into like a bucket of water.
what at approximately when did they build the Ocean City boardwalk?
Probably in the 40s.
In the 40s. Okay.
Probably.
And then Wildwood
Probably in the same time.
in the same time.
But Wildwood got built up, and Wildwood's a fun, raging town. It's a party
and
town.
I will tell you this: the women are quite loose.
Yeah.
What
all
about-
up and down the coast.
What about Point Pleasant and Seaside?
Now, Dan,
Those are further north.
Ocean
Those are more New
City and
York-y.
Atlantic City aren't that far away.
Oh no! I mean, we used to, because downtown, like the northern parts where the boardwalk was, and so when I was working, you just hopped on a road and you were in the bars in Margate in like 20 minutes
All right,
and
so
AC in a half hour.
Here
or less.
I am, and I'm on Ocean City. I've really zoomed in.
I'm on
here.
46th Street, which is the very south part of the island.
All right, so you're down here,
Yeah, I'm down there,
like by
where it
Ocean.
gets thin. See where it's at with that blue part?
Right
there.
here?
Yeah, I'm right around there.
That's where you guys
Just
are.
a little further north of that. Yeah.
Like probably like right here.
Yeah.
That's where you guys. Now you guys are. Is your condo literally when you open up the back door? There's the sand.
Yes, it's a duplex. My aunt's on top, and we're on the bottom.
Bubba, if you change it, if you go right where you just were, go up to road.
Hold on, 46th Street, right here.
Yeah, that's it, right there.
All right, now I'll go to road. Okay.
And then just hit aerial. Right. Yeah. And at least we'll.
Oh, we could probably pinpoint Dan's house.
You sure could. It's right in the middle of the block.
All right. Do you recognize anything yet, Dan?
You got to back out a little bit.
Yeah, it's supposed to show the streets.
Okay, you'll see. Like, okay, on 49th Street, see how it gets wide right there.
Right here? Right here?
No. Go right where your cursor is. Go to 11 o'clock. There's a house that sticks out.
Right.
Yeah, going towards the beach. Go to the beach right on that block.
Right here?
That house that sticks out right there. That's 49th Street.
Right.
So that.
All right. So this right here is 49th.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So that's 48th. So 46 is right where your writing was. Do you see those little short streets? It's right. 46th
Right
Street.
here. Right here.
Yeah, right. So that's 47th Street right there where the short streets stop. That's 47th Street.
Right.
And so okay, stop there. See the blue roof?
That's you.
That should be us right there.
Really?
That's us.
wow.
Wow.
With a blue awning.
Hold on.
Yeah, with the blue awning. That's
Wow.
it. That's our house.
Right there.
Yeah, right there.
Hold on. Give me. Boom.
That's it.
That's your guys'
Yep,
place.
that's the blue awning.
And so now this right here is this one that was getting termited or something like that?
No, that's just the roof, and that's just a blue awning over a balcony. It's like a blue canvas awning because the prick next to us wouldn't let us build our roof over the balcony. Douchebag.
So Dan, look, man. I mean,
Steven
literally.
Steven literally did like a Rahm Emanuel to the guy and confronted him in the bathroom to stop protesting or construction.
So
the guy
Dan,
had his dong out, and Steve was like, "Hey, stop messing with us."
So literally, you guys could just
I swear to God.
hold on. Literally, as kids, literally just run right out of here and go
Right.
pew, 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 pew,
Right.
right.
Yeah. Since I was 5 years old, we were in the house.
Now, and so is all this area packed with chicks? The beach?
Yeah, that's the whole beach. So see that little? Okay, see where those little. There's 3 sections. You can see like the dune section, the middle section, and the other section.
Right.
So the dune section, no one's on.
That's right.
The middle section is where kind of like beach patrol and stuff run their vehicles up and down, and people do like volleyball back there.
Right.
And then that third of the section closest to the water is where most of the people hang out.
So I'm trying.
And we're the thinnest part of the island, and we're in the middle of the.
Now, where does the
block.
boardwalk start?
Around 30th, 28th Street or so, right around there. You can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it right there.
With
Stop
the
right there. Go a little further north, to the right. Starts right about like a block from there. You'll see it. There it is.
The boardwalk.
Keep going. You'll see it more definitively.
Oh, right there.
Whatever.
Okay, and then downtown you can see all the rides and stuff like that. It's cool.
So anyway,
but yeah, it's the house. It's literally on the beach. You can spit on the beach. I mean, it's right there.
That's
you can see the
awesome.
waves.
what a great life. I mean, what a great childhood. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this
awesome.
a few days ago, man. We never went anywhere. We went to the Wisconsin Dells 2 times camping. We went to the Wisconsin Dells, which is in Baraboo, Wisconsin, pulling a pop-up trailer, and we stayed at Devil's Lake Campground. And by the way, Baraboo, Wisconsin, home of the Ringling. That's where the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus was invented.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Really?
Interesting story.
Yeah.
Right, Farm John's Island, 50 on the Venmo.
It's where it was originally started. The Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, started in Baraboo, Wisconsin. They have a museum there.
And that was before they merged, right?
Right.
They were just the Ringling Bros.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they merged and took it on the road.
Yep.
And the rest of, and I think
Built an estate in Sarasota.
Yeah. Then I think they pretty much said, screw Baraboo, let's go to Sarasota, where all the hotties
That's
are.
where the HQ was.
I know. Does the Ringling Brothers, are circuses even allowed anymore?
Changed it.
Yeah, it's not really with a lot of animals either.
Yeah,
They-
I mean, like the circus, man. Back in the day, if you guys remember, when we used to go to the circus. First of all, at Madison Elementary, as where I went to when I went to elementary school, we actually had a school trip where when you went to 5th grade, that was the big thing you had to look for. When you were in 5th grade, they you had to, your mom and dad had to bring you to school like 2 hours earlier that day, like at 6, and then they school bused you, all 5th graders from all of the elementary schools from Warsaw. There was like 25 buses, and they took you to the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus at the Fort Wayne Memorial Coliseum, which was about an hour away, because the circus was in town. And
That's great.
In 5th grade, and there was a couple parents that wouldn't let, if you wouldn't let your kid go, then you're just, the kid got a day off. But I think it was like $3.
Why wouldn't you let your kid go? Because you didn't want to drop the 3?
Because maybe you didn't want to drop the 3, or maybe I don't know, for whatever reason. But for those 12 kids that didn't get to go, you made fun of them all year.
Right, that's what I thought. I could stay home.
Because I mean, like, it was super. And then for the $3, Dan, not only did you get a ticket to get in, but they also the school had prepared a sack lunch for you too.
Awesome.
So you got a sack lunch, and then a ticket to the deal, transportation to and from for $3 or $4, and then you would. But man, the circus back then. I mean, there was lions and tigers and snakes and right. I mean, and then they would literally put them in these cages and and the guy would tame the lions, and there really wasn't a real safe barrier between you and maybe the first 10 rows. Right, I mean, if that lion went crazy, he could have attacked everybody.
Right.
Now, I think then they went from that, the lions kind of being out and could attack a crowd. Then I think they put the lions in a cage, and so the only guy could get attacked would be the lion guy. But I mean, they had all the big dangerous.
Yeah. Now they just have poodles.
No, they don't have any animals.
They don't even do any animals, not even the poodles
Yeah,
anymore?
they cut that
Let me-
out.
can you-
Even the
I-
poodles
I
is
sent
too much?
Let me- can you
Cats
send
and
me
I
a-
sent you
You
just now.
sent me a link of what the
But
standard
it's now.
Yeah.
the standard.
Well, it's like a bunch of news stories just talking about it, but showing, it's just without animals.
They just make their indentured servants do tricks.
That's where that's where all the human trafficking is
They
going.
just make their indentured servants do
Oh,
tricks.
hold
What?
on here.
Oh,
Hold on.
no.
That's where all the human trafficking is
They
going.
just make their indentured
Stand by. We
servants
always
do
do
tricks.
this.
What?
Hold on here.
Whatever.
Little
What
bit of
the-
video. All right, is this it right here? Let me.
Yeah, this is a quick little story
All
on
right,
it.
let me see here. Boom.
No
Giant
animals.
Camels.
Just people of different races.
Tigers and other animals. It featured in the years leading. The Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus is making a comeback, but without some of its notable performers. The owners of the circus operation say no animals will be used for performances in the new version of The Greatest Show on Earth. Animal rights activists accuse the circus of exploiting the elephants, tigers, and other animals.
And I got to be honest with you.
Featured in the
I as much as I think it makes the circus suck, I got to think that these tigers and these lions and these llamas and these camels and these, I got to think that they don't want to be in the circus.
Probably not.
Yeah, but you know what? They're well kept. They're well cared for. They have a lot of attention. They give them a lot of attention. The alternative would be
they're well fed.
They're well fed. They take care of them. It's their property. They want them to be healthy and happy. And
I think
so
they
the
get
argument
standard
is,
vet checks.
do you think would you rather be a lion in the circus with people cheering for you, or a lion at like Baskin's dump in Ocala,
No,
like cooking in the sun in a wire cage?
That's not the
I don't know
argument.
if
That's not the
lions
argument.
care,
The
Dan.
argument, the argument, Dan, is: do I want to be a lion that has to live in a box and get put on a semi and travel from Warsaw, Indiana, down to Evansville and be in a little box and heated, or do I want to be out in the Serengeti, out there getting ass and killing llamas and being free and be able to run wherever I want, or do I want to be a captive? Yeah, I'm getting fed, but I'm still living in a box.
Yeah.
But I
I'm
feel
literally living in, and in the circus, man, they don't even have as big of facilities to, like, when they transport them, they're in a box.
Well, they have to be. And then if you were to, return them to the wild, most of them would die. 'Cause
Right.
They were born in captivity.
Bubba, I just sent you the trailer from Ringling, the official trailer.
It looks like a big Broadway show now.
Hold on here. Let
in
me
the
just- let
round.
me get
years leading up to its shutdown in 2017, the company's chief operating officer says the circus will now put the focus on its human performers when the shows relaunch in 2023.
Oh,
great.
So you
Yeah,
have
it's gotta do
diabetes
really
and
well.
your glucose.
humans instead of animals.
Right.
Nobody
Look at
wants
the-
to
look
see.
at the tricks.
Nobody wants to
I
see.
think that's pretty cool.
I mean, maybe, I guess. I don't know. This is their trailer.
Yes.
So for naysayers like you and I and Dan, that says, man, the circus is going to suck
Yep.
without the animals, but we certainly understand that the animal, I agree that it's mean to animals.
They suck though with the animals over the last 10 years. I mean, I went to the circus a few times with my kids, and it sucked. I mean, it freaking sucked.
So you're saying when as they were woking it down, as they were winding it, the old school circus mentality down, it started sucking and sucking. So Lummy, this is the trailer of the new circus.
Yes.
All right.
The circus just always kind of sucked?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, when you're a kid, you're like seeing things you've never seen before, like lions and giant elephants doing tricks. I mean, it's stuff you've never seen before. How many times have you seen some jackass doing a flip?
I'm guilty.
And dancing and singing.
I'm guilty of, like, when Tyler was like 3. Him and his mom and I were getting along at the time, and we took him to the circus together. And it was for a 3-year-old. He's like,
it's awesome.
All lions and tigers.
Right.
I could have just taken him to Busch Gardens, but there's a lot more walking.
Yeah, but they
involved
just sit there though in Busch Gardens, the lions and the tigers. Here they're doing stuff.
Right. So Lummy, this is the new circus trailer.
Yes.
Right here. All right, let's not be like Anna and be completely negative. Let's call the circus a bitch. Let's all be open-minded and give the open circus a chance. Okay?
Right.
Clean your negative mind, Danny.
Right. You suck. Okay, sorry, it's out.
Clean it out. Lummy, Anna, clean your negativity
It's out.
out.
It's gone.
Here we go.
It's gone.
This is the new circus.
Whoa. Cool.
I mean, kind
You
of more.
suck.
I don't think I'm going to take Walker there.
Yeah.
I think I'll probably just take him to
It
the zoo.
sucks, dude. It's not even Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil is even 10 times better than that.
If you're gonna go to, if you were thinking about going to the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus, just try to find the nearest Cirque du Soleil, because they do it. They do what the Ringling Brothers is attempting to do the right way. Correct. I mean, like, they really have spectacular stunts.
Right.
They really. I mean, since it's just humans doing, stunts, then you might as well go to the people that do the stunts the best, which is the Cirque du Soleil.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I'm sorry. My vote's no, not going.
Yeah.
Here it is. If you had a child, would you go? Yes or no? Me? No. Lummy?
No.
Dan?
No.
Anna?
Yeah.
You suck.
Like she's gonna have a kid, please.
Right, exactly.
He's not part of the solution. He's part of the problem. It's Bubba the Love Sponge.
Lummy, Bubba breaks down the new. Bubba breaks just the circus part. All right, Dan, we're gonna get into Dion's toes.
Okay.
Lummy,
Yes, Bubba.
if I throw it over to you and say, can you give me an example of some of the throwbacks that you put up on Pod? Do you have 3 off the top of your head?
Yes.
Okay. 'Cause I'm gonna promote that and then go into Dion.
And then Macho made the Bubba Army picks at gmail.com.
Okay, hold on.
I just sent you an article on the RFK thing you wanted,
Okay.
and I'm also sending you a video with a couple more clips that was on Jesse Waters for video aspect.
Well, didn't we see this yesterday?
It just happened yesterday.
Oh.
This is a letter that many of you signed, and so the problem that this hearing was convened to address to my father, to my uncle, to FDR, to Harry Truman, to Thomas Jefferson, from all of the previous forms of government.
No, hold on. I watched this privately.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so no problem.
And then the Jesse Waters one, he shows more of the interaction a little bit in the beginning.
They're off from school, but not really home.
And only 300 yards into the swim net?
They do the incredible. Help save lives. So can you. Your CSL plasma donation can help create 24 life-saving medicines. Be rewarded for your generosity. Help save so many lives. Donate at CSL Plasma today.
Looks like y'all got a lot of stuff here in your water. This will clean up your water.
It's all about cleaner. Bioengineered to target Caucasian.
Does it happen soon here, or where's it go? Where am I going?
You're at it.
No.
And black people.
You're misstating.
No.
You are.
This is a 30-minute clip, buddy. Where do I go?
It's the beginning. That's why I said it.
So this is where I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I would just start it at the beginning, and then it's the lead.
What you said. So just ask me.
So play this or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Floated him.
All right. So play that.
Yes.
Okay.
From the beginning.
That is the beginning. But that's not gonna be till third break. I'll tease that.
Dion.
Or I might wait for Kevin on that.
Kevin's coming at 8, right?
Yeah. You got Dan skewing stuff. And Kevin's a little more
Friendly?
little less confrontational about it. Dan's just a fucking straight Planet of the Apes fucking barbarian.
I didn't know if you wanted to pay for Dan because it's a lot of it's about anti-vax and stuff.
What did I do wrong?
A lot.
Mutton. We're talking about whether we talk about this one segment with you or Kevin.
Oh. Which one?
The RFK. I'm trying to do medical shit with you.
Okay.
Because your politics piss a lot of people off.
Okay.
You're the total opposite.
Just the stupid ones.
You're the total opposite of Brian.
I think your show listeners tend to be a little bit more right-leaning.
Yeah, but boy, the left ones really get fucking full hot on you. They get full hot on you and Jay. I got an email yesterday.
Was it from Gary?
I forget. Was it in a comment section, Lummy, or it was either Facebook?
What did it say?
I love the show.
Except for Ron, she sucks.
Come on.
Oh.
But Jay and Dan really are just fucking the show up.
What?
I'll find it.
Signed, Brian.
Signed, Templeton.
I was going to say Matroni.
Brian's got trolling email accounts.
Yeah.
I gotta find it so you can see that I'm not making it up.
Okay. I lost it in the plethora of people that kind of agreed with me on most of those things.
Oh no, statistically it's probably 80-20. Statistically. Meaning people that appreciate.
I understand.
But Dan, you gotta understand, motherfucker, you're 80-20. Bitch, I'm 50-50 at best. Me, and I'm the host.
With people agreeing, you mean?
No, meaning hate to agree.
Bubba the Love Sponge! I love everything about the show. Every day for 4 hours, man. It just makes time fly by.
Gotta be Bubba.
This is awesome. I love it. And I spent about 2 hours in my car when it's supposed to be a 20-minute break. Yeah.
Bubba the Love Sponge. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Man, I love that is, when you get all the old listeners and just how good the show is, but I mean, literally, I hear it every day. Every day. I hear it every day.
Woody just wanted to try to put you over.
Please, Woody. I need more. What is our, let me have you ever looked into, what is our rotate, what do we got, 6 of them? 6 ins and 6 outs?
I was talking with Macho. He says we should have a little bit more.
Okay.
Macho was looking at it yesterday on the next show.
All right, well, we need, I just want to keep, we did freshen the show up by adding those, but if we didn't have, 50 or 60 of those, then you kind of just are defeating the freshening up process if I make any sense.
Yes, you do.
By the way, one of my most ingenious ideas, not that I have a lot of, I don't know if I get necessarily as much credit as I deserve with regards to the things that I think of or do or try to talk about or try to, for instance, I had the vision in 1999, 2000 to start having an attorney on my show once a month or twice a month to give legal advice. And they now do it almost in every city. Almost in every city, they have a morning show that has a legal guy on answering their questions. And he's like, man, Dan, they do it locally. They do it in almost every major city, like Cox and Beasley and iHeart have taken that template. Now, it started with Clear Channel iHeart with Kevin. And then we rolled that into you. And then we rolled that into a doctor segment. But I don't get near the credit.
It didn't start with iHeart with Kevin. Kevin never showed up until the Hog.
What did it start with?
It started with me and Steven in 1998.
Okay.
Oh.
It had nothing. Kevin was like 2005. What was the hog?
No. Kevin was 2000. Kevin was 2000.
The hog was 2000.
Yes.
Okay, so it's 2000. So it started with me in '98, and then Steven started coming in with me.
It started out as kind of a doctor deal, and then Steve came in and made it kind of a doctor-lawyer deal.
And then remember
Kevin
Dr.
came
Mark
in,
too.
and then Dr. Mark came in and made it a penis, a men's health deal.
Right.
And then Kevin came in during the trial, and that was a straight lawyer deal.
Right.
And then now it's morphed into what we got now. Now you're a co-host. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it. But I introduced you to Dr. Mark.
I know you did.
Right. People in the chat didn't understand that. They're like, Dr. Mark's first. No. I came in. I introduced.
Hold on.
Right.
Let me just tell the story.
Okay.
I was going in for a procedure with Dr. Dan, and Dr. Dan needed a urologist for my procedure.
Because his dong was so big, he didn't know what to do with it.
No, don't say that.
It was massive. I was like, I can't hold it with just two hands.
Let's not even get into the speculation as to why Dan wasn't. Well, let's just say. So Dan asked Dr. Mark to assist or to be in the room because just for another set of eyes and a guy that's familiar.
Right.
And Dr. Dan, I can remember I was at TOS and Dr. Mark had like this lizard, like real flamboyant medical scrub cap on, and didn't have the standard blue cap on, and said, "Hi, I'm Mark Shaworski." That a lot of people just call me Dr. Mark, and I'm going to be helping Dan with your surgery today. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. And so that you're right. You introduced me to him right before I was getting rolled in for you to do a surgery on me. So. I invented the lawyer on the radio kind of deal. That is now heard in every city in America. I had this idea that we have the Bubba Army send us pictures of them showing their Bubba Army off, or personal pictures of us. Like Lummy, if you want to send pictures, by the way, we have a place for you to send the pictures now.
All right.
Back over to Macho Man. Macho Man, what's the official Bubba Army, Anna, Dan, Lummy? I guess they could send pictures to you personally, but what's the new website you just set up for people to send pictures to?
I was eating cake, sorry. What are we talking about? BubbaArmyPics@gmail.com.
Look, now Macho Man's trying to be funny now too.
Yeah. It was great cake, Lummy, by the way.
All right, so what is, give him a -1 for trying to be funny, but he needs to stick to wiring stuff up. So, Mach, what's the email without the commentary? What's the email?
BubbaArmyPics@gmail.com. PICS pics.
BubbaArmyPics@gmail.com. So, like, if you're a guy and you got a set of Bubba Army mud, you happen to be one of the very few that have been able to preserve your Bubba Army mud flaps, or it's scouting big gulp at a ball game, or it's Big Red, or it's, whatever, or it's Dan and his family, just whatever. Send pics that you potentially would like displayed behind me. I have this big ass TV now, and I just have these pics, some of which are personal. I think that there's one like of Steve Kinzer and Tyler. Only a very few people would even recognize who Steve Kinzer was. So some of it's kind of insight as well. So, and Anna, if you have any pics, if you maybe get in your gi or just whatever you feel. Dan probably no dong pics. Okay, Dan, I know you like to take a lot of dong pics.
Okay,
Dan,
I'm sorry.
I had to beep.
Sorry.
Is this slip?
Lummy, that's a -1 for a dump.
I tried to stop it halfway through the word.
I know, but you didn't stop it through the right part.
I know.
If you just would have said ick, but the first part of the deal is the problem. Dan, no penis pics, please. Again, it's BubbaArmyPics@gmail.com.
Can I just send them directly to you?
I already have some. Okay. I don't need any more. Thanks. So anyway, Bubba Army, send your pics to BubbaArmyPics@gmail.com. Good, that takes me out of it because I've been forwarding pics. They send to the merch crick, and they're like, this, she sends it to me, and then I got to send them to Andy, and my mailbox is getting all full of people, which, by the way, I love. But we can streamline this and make it so that you send it directly to to the guy that's eating cake and wiring stuff up right now, and that's the Macho Man.
Is it still good?
Yeah. No.
I feel like you got to do the Bubba thing. That
Oh, you've got to do the Bubba thing. You've got to put water on it and put it in for 17 to 22 seconds. BubbaArmyPicks at gmail.com. Lummy, also in our podcasting world, let me promote that real fast. We only got, I think, like 10 or 11 days left of the month, so I'm trying to hit it. Every month, I'm always trying to push the podcast. The podcast we do pretty good on revenue, but it's kind of a numbers builder. I think we're approaching 6 million. Our next plateau is 6 million downloads. And that's some real deal. That's advertising and digital currency. It really is. So I'm trying to continue to tweak and add and put some exclusive stuff on the podcast within our podcasting world. Of course, our podcasting, anywhere you go and get podcasting, iHeart, Spotify, Apple Play, iTunes, it doesn't matter. Wherever, I really don't know of any of the major places that we're not distributed on.
Yeah, I don't think
Do you?
No.
And if Bubba Army does, like Bubba Army, if there's one particular big podcasting franchise that you go to and you don't see, when you type in the Bubba Army or Bubba Army podcast, ours doesn't come up, let us know, because I'll let our distributor know that we're not on there, and we certainly need to be on there. But Lummy, we've been trying to, not only does Anna do her thing and add the daily shows and all that kind of stuff for download, but Lummy, I've been having you and Rhett put up 2 or 3 kind of throwback, just funny, different shows, mostly from the Sirius XM days. But I know that you guys have been putting 2 or 3 up of those a week up. Have you not?
Yeah, latest one.
I know we had to ham ban it.
Yep, the X-Pac one where he talks about China.
Yeah, that's going up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he talks about China downstairs.
So when we had X-Pac on and he broke down the X-Pac China sex tape, and talked about how a portion of her body that's only females have was actually almost larger than the average guy's thing.
Huh, interesting.
Did he not?
Yes, he did.
And so that goes up?
Yes.
And then what else do you got
then
going
you got the Aaron Lewis interview, which was a really good interview. That was put up there. And then you have Beetlejuice Brings the Heat on You from a throwback on there.
Who does?
Beetlejuice.
Oh, okay.
And then pretty much another where Howard Stern makes fun of your ring that you sent him.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. But it's, we're trying to get that Howard rub too on it. But the Aaron Lewis one and the X-Pac one is. And then we're doing too is with the locals. You got
this is on the podcasting that we're talking about.
Yeah, the first.
I mean locals.
Yeah,
locals. That's the Rumble world.
Yeah.
And then if you're a member of our Rumble channel, which is everything's the Bubba Army, which I think we just hit 4,000 followers.
Yes, we did.
Lummy.
Yeah.
Is that pretty good?
Yeah.
Is that pretty? What does a guy like Crowder have? Like 1 million?
Yeah.
Oh, and we're at 4,000.
Well, we're new to it.
Great. So if you go to our Rumble page at the Bubba Army, first of all, follow us. And then secondly, there's this little red button that you hit, and it's called join. It says join. And when you join, then you become what they call part of the locals, right?
Yes.
And so the Bubba Army channel on Rumbles has a subsection. I'm just trying to walk this through the guy in Fort Walton Beach that has no idea what we're talking about. So if you go to rumble.com and you type in the Bubba Army, you'll see our channel. We got a bunch of great stuff up there. We broadcast the show on there every day visually. That and YouTube and Rumble is where we put the show every day, the morning show. And then there's also a bunch of other great stuff on our Rumble channel. But then, Lummy, if you want to become like a subscriber and get some exclusive stuff, including like the behind the scenes Aki Way food pop up.
Yep.
I'm going to try to go live on Locals this weekend, live from the track with I'm trying to get a head mount for my phone so that I can go live on Locals while I'm grading the track and things like that. So hit the join button and become the part of the Locals community, and that gets you a little bit of exclusive content, right?
Yes, it does.
What did you put up on there?
Yesterday we put up the first ever Hulk Hogan in studio from back in the '98 Rock days.
When he had Jesse Camp with him?
No, just him.
Oh, really?
This is probably '97.
I always thought the first time he came in was with Jesse Camp to promote Linda's French hen
No, this was him solo.
I think you might be wrong.
Well, you said it on there with when you had Cowhead on there.
Oh,
And so
okay.
this is the first time we've ever had him in studio.
What was that like?
It was pretty.
I
I
probably marked out, but you could probably tell we didn't know each other, right? Like we weren't friends.
You were hanging out with him just a little bit, but he kind of talks about how he started to feel more comfortable around you, and he felt safe.
He
coming
felt
in.
comfortable around me, all right.
But this is kind of when you first started 98 Rock.
All right, so that's on the
That just got
local.
posted, yeah.
That's on the locals.
Yes, it is.
Oh, great.
It's about 15, 16 minute, which is not even. It's actually not up anywhere. I found that in the back end of Next Gen.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff you need to find. Stuff that's not been posted anywhere.
That's what we're going to start doing on locals.
Thank you, Lummy.
No problem.
So, Dan, I actually spoke to Dion 2 days ago about him going in for his turf toast. Now, this is all over the news.
Was he worried?
No, he wasn't. But if you rewind, Dion had horrible turf toe while he played in the league. I mean, horrible. And
just so for the listeners, turf toe is essentially it starts off as a sprain of your big toe from pushing off and hyperextending it. But over time, you can it really destroy the joint and rip the fascia, like the plantar fascia. It's called a plantar complex. And when you rip that support, it becomes unstable and can become a chronic, agonizing injury.
And so he played with it and played with it and played with it. And it usually is associated with, you don't usually see sometimes you see offensive linemen get turf toe, but it's usually the speed guys and the guys that are cutting and things like that. Cornerbacks, wide receivers, linebackers, running backs. Those are the guys that usually get it. And it's just because literally if you got the ability to put pressure on your feet right now, if you feel and you press down hard as if you were doing an athletic move or pushing off, or your 1 and 2, big toe and the next guy, those two dudes are doing the most of the work, aren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, your little toes are just for lateral stability.
Yeah, they're just for
your strength is in the first toe or
right.
two.
Your propulsion, your strength, your switching of directions, all of that is big guy number one and number 1 and 2.
They're mostly number 1. Number 2 is just kind of like
a support system.
Not even a support system. It's kind of like a
cheerleader.
Cheerleader, yeah.
Well,
go, big toe.
Go, big toe. I'm here for you. I'm holding the clipboard for you, right?
Exactly. It's just a rah-rah.
So one time Dion was
like
actually
Ed McMahon.
I think we had Dion in here just a few years ago. Look for it.
Oh,
but I think he actually takes his sock off it
was at the old studios. I remember it was during the Super Bowl.
And didn't he take his sock off and show it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Football players have feet that rival.
Lummy. Listen.
I know it's gonna be tough.
It's you got to know how to work, buddy.
Oh, I know.
And so since we probably have, and I think Dion may have said at the time, this is the first time I've ever showed anybody this.
Mm-hmm.
But we might have the very first time that he exposed his turf toe, and that's when he had 10 toes, not 8. And so maybe with this being one of the biggest news stories going right now, we might be able to get some rub on the first time Dion showed his turf toe when he still had all of his toes. We could go viral on that, Lummy.
Turf toe deforms the foot before you start.
Well,
taking
football
stuff
players' feet are brutal. I mean, they get destroyed over time. I mean, only athlete with a worse foot than a football player is pretty much a dancer, like a ballet dancer. Yeah. But they all have. I mean, their feet are just beat up over time, and a lot of them get bunions and just arthritic toes, and it's just it's tough. And so a football player's foot's not like a dreamy foot.
I was trying to show a picture, Lummy. I was trying to find a picture of what the average NFL turf toe looks like on a player. If you could do that search for me real fast, just
let's see.
I did a search and got football shoes because I was going to try to flash up what the standard guy suffering from turf toe in the NFL, what that image looks like. Dion went into surgery yesterday, and this has been almost a 4-part series. It first started when he was in college, I'm sorry, when he was in, it first started when he was in the NFL.
I sent you a pic of one, just of the feet from an NFL player.
Oh, that's not Dion.
I'm trying to find
Dion would give his life savings to have feet that look that good.
Yeah, Bunyan.
I found a Dion one when he was on Rich Eisen.
All right. Well, you know what? And if you look at the Rich Eisen date, and when that was broadcast, compare that to our date and see who's first.
Oh, we're first. Rich Eisen one was a couple years ago.
Oh, my grandma had toes like that. She didn't play football, though.
My grandma had toes like that, but she didn't play football, though. But anyway.
But it's like they have, at 40, they have the feet of like an 80-year-old. Yeah. It's amazing.
Right. And so this is what Dion's from turf toe, and it's just because that big toe has been broken and sprained and squeezed and played on when injured. And so like with turf toe, man, you really couldn't take any time off if you're a guy like Deion Sanders, man. You got to play hurt when they're paying you that kind of money.
And you're playing sports year round too. His whole life. I mean, he was playing football, baseball, basketball.
Yeah, he was the only guy. He's the only human being. Now think about this feat. No pun intended. Think about this. Think about this achievement. Deion Sanders is the only human being to have scored a home run in baseball and a touchdown in the NFL. He scored a home run in Major League Baseball and a touchdown in the NFL, the two most prestigious leagues in the world, all within 1 week. He's the only the only human being to have scored a touchdown and hit a home run all within a week. Deion, as a matter of fact check me on that.
I didn't know he was playing for both leagues simultaneously.
He would play for. Listen, he would play for the Atlanta Falcons, and then he was playing for the Braves too, and he would literally play a day game. Play for the Braves during the day, and then after the game, if it was a day game, he would try to practice. But on Sundays, the Braves knew that he couldn't play, baseball. He had to go play football. So literally, I think he'd play baseball all week, miss most of the Atlanta Falcons practices, and then go play for the Falcons on Sunday after no practice.
Yeah.
And I think you can send me, Lummy, the very first time Deion touched the ball. I think one of the very first times his first play as
a touchdown.
His first play as an NFL player was he caught a punt return from the Los Angeles Rams at the old Atlanta County Stadium, and he took it back for a punt, like a 52 or 61-yard punt return. And that was his very first play in the NFL. And it was not just a standard, it was spectacular. Like, he was juking dudes off of him, and he was like, and then the last 20 yards, he did the Heisman band director high step. I mean, this guy's amazing. But you're right, Dan. He never had a down season. He never had 6 months for him to be, get surgery or ice it. It stayed swollen and it stayed irritated. For 14 years, it was always like this.
I sent you the first TD. It was in September of '89.
He's also the only NFL player in history to score a point every which way, like every way you can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's the only guy that scored a touchdown 6 different ways. I think there's 6 different ways to score a touchdown.
Like throw it,
kickoff return, punt return, catch.
Hold on. Slow down so that we can go through them. Okay, go ahead. Kickoff return, punt return, rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown, interception for a touchdown, and I believe a scoop and score, fumble.
Yeah, fumble for a touchdown.
There's only 6 ways to score in the NFL, and he's the only human being ever. I mean, think about this, man. I mean, this sport's been around for a long time, right?
Yes.
And if you're the first, football's been around for 100. The NFL has been around. It started in 1919.
1919.
It started. God, I see. You didn't get me. Started in 1919. So since 1919, Anna, this feat is so unbelievable that only one person has ever achieved that feat.
Amazing.
And look at his feet now.
So now hold on. So this is Dan. He's been playing
first day.
Yeah. Is it literally his first day?
September 10th. It's got to be. I mean, it's the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So I think literally this might have been the first time he ever played one down of football. Like you're very like if you were have gone to the NFL, your first your first play probably would have been like on the field goal blocking team or something like that.
Yeah.
Because you would have been like a special teams guy and been a lineman. You know what you actually would have been on? Field goal block team.
Yep.
But even guys that are drafted, when you get to an established team, your first couple games, you're on special teams.
Right.
That's where they put the new guys.
Hold on. Maybe even the practice squad.
Right.
Like you may not even be
not
on.
If you're a big draft pick, but still you're playing on special teams.
Right.
That's where they're trying to showcase you initially.
Very rarely is your first play the play that they drafted you for.
Right.
Let's say you're a linebacker, 4th round linebacker, and your first play is probably going to be on kickoff return.
Yep. They're
going to have you as a mid-level blocker on kickoff return. Or you're going to be on kickoff because you're on defense and you like to tackle people.
Right,
so they're going to say, "Listen,
he's on the line.
You're on kickoff. Run down there as fast as you can and try to
stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane and tackle that guy."
Right.
So they're like, Dion, your first play is going to be a punt return, okay? Because that's what you're real good at, punt returns. So this is your first play. Go in there, kid. Now, by NFL, even back then in today's standards. And Rhett, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are, as much of a sports historian as Lummy is, as far as different statistics and like what does whip and war and runs again, all that. You guys know the terms, so to speak. And what was I going to say just now? Damn it!
Something about kickoffs back in the day.
Yeah. Statistically,
I'm not trying to prove.
Hold on. Statistically, like if you're a guy and you're a punt returner and you get 10 yards, that's like a big deal. Like if you're a 10 to 15 yarder guy, I mean you're really probably the number one returner in the league.
Yeah, especially if you're doing that every single time.
Right, and then of course now you've had. Who was the guy that played for Chicago? That was
Devin Hester.
Of course, you have the Devin Hesters.
He was so much fun, wasn't he? Oh my God, I was just thinking that too. Hester,
seriously,
he was
one of the
awesome.
best.
And then the Desmond Howard.
2 or 3 years, he was great.
Desmond Howard. You've had a few of these guys,
right?
Over the years,
the Rockets,
Trendon Holiday,
right? That are just return specialists, and that's what Dion ended up kind of being. And Dion was a return specialist. And again, by league standards, if you're a kickoff return guy and you average 8 to 9 yards, you're going to lead the league. So where 10 yards is a big thing. So here's Dion's first play.
So now he'll have to do it.
I'm not trying to counter program. It technically wasn't his first play because he was playing defense against this.
Oh,
so
this wasn't the opening kick.
Oh,
no, it's a punt.
So this was he'd already had a series of defense.
Correct.
But this was the first time that he lined up as a punt return.
So this was
like touched the ball.
This is like play number 5.
Technically, it's the first time he touched the ball.
Okay.
So
all right. So the first time he ever touched the ball.
Yep.
And Dan, have you seen this?
No, I have not.
And watch how it's just not. I got a seam. My guys were really blocking good. I got there's some couple times, man, when your line has just really cleared the path and it's just, you hardly get touched, right? Well, first of all, the number one way to mess up a punt return is to fumble it. So if you're a returner and you fumble it, you already got the guys on you that much faster, right? Like that usually ends up a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
When the punt return guys fumbles it, at best, you usually get a ball back and maybe get a yard or two.
Mm-hmm.
That's best case scenario on when a guy fumbles the return. Let alone, watch, Dan, this will be one of the most spectacular things you ever see just based on how many guys he shucks off of him and how many guys he breaks and just watch. It's amazing.
And he'll kick it away just outside his spine. This is a beauty. And Sanders retreats back to the 32.
Fumbles.
Coach said he's done right there.
Miss.
Another man missed.
Miss.
Now he's going
miss.
wide off to the right. Dion to the 20.
Miss.
6.
Now, hold on. Miss.
7.
Now watch. Now showboat. You can't outrun me, bitch. There's nobody. When you're here, when you're here, there's some guys, if there's other guys in the league that were number 21. When you're here, you got to think, man, 24 is a fast cat.
Right, he's a cornerback. Right,
I mean,
he's got those little numbers in the 20s.
And he's got the
Speed.
angle. He's got the angle on me. You know, this. Hold on. Let me go right. So when you're right here,
there's no way he's getting past 24. You're thinking to yourself, there's no way he can't get tackled by 24.
By normal
humans.
By normal NFL return guy standards, when a guy, when the safety valve has this type of angle on you, he's going to hawk you down.
And if you look at Dion, you're technically not supposed to look because that slows you down a little bit.
Right. So technically, 90% of most guys get caught here. Dion not only smokes him, but then starts showboating him. He's so fast that listen, you can be fast and beat a guy, but then you got to be ultra fast to showboat because showboating slows you down.
Right.
The type of run
so if you start showboating at the 20, you've sped yourself down, and the guy catches you at the 4, you look like an idiot. But Dion was always so far ahead that he could showboat, and most of the honest to God, most of the if you look at, I actually saw. There was a video of all the cornerbacks that pulled off during Dion's career, like guys that just stopped, after he got by him. They just gave up running.
Yeah.
You're supposed to, man, if the guy gets by you, you're supposed to keep running for him. Like in NFL standards, you'd get in trouble if they were watching tape and guy ran past you and you just quit jogging, right? Like, Dan, you're still supposed to try. A lot of DBs over the years, man, they'd be like, man, we're just going to pull up stakes here. What do we got going on?
No reason to burn those calories.
Dion. Look at this. Boom. I'm so far ahead of you, I'm going to showboat you.
I don't think the average person just understands how good Dion is. Like in the history of the NFL, there's maybe 4 or 5 athletes that you could consider some of the greatest of all time, and Dion's arguably the best one on that list.
Absolutely.
Who are some of the others? Like Bo Jackson, Barry Sanders.
Bo Jackson was fragile.
But hold on. Yes, Bo Jackson as an athlete.
But he was one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Are we talking athletes or are we talking NFL players?
I'm talking strictly athlete. Okay. Like some of the most athletic
Bruce Jenner. Where's he now?
Hold on. If you're talking about athletes, then 1 and 2
in the history of the NFL.
In the history of athletics.
You just said athlete.
I did say history of the NFL, but we can go athletes too. That works. Dion's that good.
Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders are probably number 1 and 2. I'm not really. They say Jim Thorpe at one time might have been one of the greatest athletes of all time. So I am familiar with Bruce Jenner's accomplishments. Maybe you put him in there. But you also got Wayne Gretzky as far as how he dominated his sport. You got Michael Schumacher.
I don't think anyone would say, Bubba, I don't think anyone would say that Gretzky or Schumacher were one of the best athletes of all time. I think you could absolutely say that about someone like Bo Jackson, someone like Deion Sanders. You can't even say that about like Messi. He's not like the best athlete of all time, even though he's one of the best soccer players alive right now. It's really hard to be. You got to take a guy. If you say an athlete of all time, you got to take a guy that plays at that level at multiple sports.
So here's the deal, man. I don't know that there is a 3.
No, those two are on the short list.
Red, I think that you can only, there's that list.
It seems like a pretty big drop off between those guys and who would be a potential number 3.
Especially on the skill set.
Yeah.
Dion couldn't probably.
Charlie Ward's one of them. You know what I mean? Remember, he was a great football player, and he excelled as a professional basketball player.
I would put him in. Yes,
he's a close one.
He's in the conversation. He's in the conversation.
How many other guys do that? It's just a handful of people have been able to do both the sports.
And then if maybe athleticism and athletic ability, Bo has an edge over Dion. But if you look at accomplishments,
Dion smokes him.
Dion won how many?
Sample size.
No, Bo Jackson was a paper tiger.
If you look at pure size and maybe for the time that he played, how much he dominated. But if you want to look at accomplishments are also equals championships, That, one of the reasons why Dan Marino is never, ever, 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 ever put in the elite quarterback club is because he never won a championship. Do I think that's right? No. I think Dan Marino arguably is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yep.
But
certainly one of the most athletic.
He
did Dave Carradine and choked.
He never won a championship.
Yep.
Whereas you go to Joe Montana, who may not statistically have been as gifted as Dan Marino, but he won how many? Four or five Super Bowls?
Yeah.
Brady versus Rogers, same exact conversation.
No way.
Yes.
Not even,
come on.
Not even
one championship versus like 100?
No, what I'm saying is I don't think
Nobody has ever said Tom Brady is a more athletic quarterback than Aaron Rodgers.
No. I agree with you guys. I thought you were saying that Rodgers was on the level of Brady. I'm here to tell you. No. I'm here to tell you right now that I love Rodgers. I think he's unbelievable, but let me make this perfectly clear. He's been my favorite quarterback, so I'm a Green Bay Packer fan.
But if you weren't a Green Bay Packer fan, would you be like such a mark for him?
No. So, let me just get something straight. If I'm just going to talk pure statistics and data, I'm not going to put, Aaron Rodgers is not even a close third to Tom Brady as being the greatest.
Right.
You got to before you put Aaron Rodgers in there, Aaron Rodgers takes a backseat to,
Peyton Manning.
Takes backseat to a lot of people. I put him behind Peyton Manning.
Aaron Rodgers takes a backseat to a lot. Steve Young. Troy Aikman.
Right.
Roger Staubach. Terry Bradshaw. If we're talking hardware, if we're talking hardware, and that indeed, at the end of the day, is how good of a quarterback you are, you're able to take your team
to
the championship and win, then, Aaron Rodgers may not be top 15. Now, if you look at statistics and you figure those in, and you don't figure in championships, then Aaron Rodgers probably is in the conversation to be in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But Tom Brady, without a doubt, no questions asked, not even a close second, is the greatest quarterback of all time. And I would have to probably sit here and argue with you guys for 5 or 10 minutes to find out who number 2 would be. That's how much of a runaway it is. Right? It's not even close. He had the statistics and the hardware.
Well, and opinions are always subjective. So again, there's so much criteria that factors into how people are going to rank that as far as athleticism, bringing up the championships like you did.
I know, but I'm just saying, Deion is the greatest, one of the greatest 2 human beings ever to have played any sport. Fumbles the ball, Dan. So you're already Zoinksville here.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
You're done.
Can't believe he fumbled it.
Yeah, and
why are you playing defense, Deion?
Coach is cutting him right there.
Right.
Dumbass,
clearly,
rookie.
Hold on. Guy.
Miss.
So as the coach, you're thinking, okay, I got this.
I can't believe I spent this much.
I got this flashy ass guy that's coming in here. He doesn't come to practice. He's got this big ass mouth on him. I have to sit here and bite my tongue. He makes 1 day of practice at best. And by the way, Deion hadn't even had this was before he played even down 1. All this hype comes, before he'd even established himself, even as a rookie, before he played 1, he already had all these rules and stuff, all these real prima donna type rules.
And he just played a game for the Yankees and hit his home run.
Yeah, so, guys over there, he's hitting home runs he's playing for the Yankees. He's playing for the Yankees at the time, and you're the Atlanta Falcons. You draft this guy 5th overall to be, a cornerback / receiver. a returner. You wasted, not you didn't waste, but you valued your 5th pick in this guy. You hope your 5th pick would come to training camp and learn the system, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Instead of being in Major League Baseball, Deion comes in here. First time, and he's all geared up too. Like Deion always had the most fanciest of gear, right?
Yeah.
So as he's getting ready, Hollywood over there hasn't practiced 1 time. You put him in the game, and he automatically drops the ball. you're like, oh God.
Your heart sinks right there.
That's what I got, and that's what I'm faced with now, Johnny Blooperville, right?
And he's, what's the drill when you drop the ball? What's the drill?
You're supposed to drop on
You just drop on it and cover it, not pick it up and try to create more folly.
Yeah, you're right. The number one rule when in returning the kickoffs or punts, or if you fumble it, if you fumble it and just jump on the ball so we retain possession. Right. Just jump on it. Right. Don't try to grab it up and get fancy because that's where stuff happens.
Right.
So it's instilled to you. If you fumble it, drop on the ball. Do not try to pick it up and get fancy because there's this 99% chance that they're going to hit you and you're going to fumble it because you weren't able to secure it fast enough because you got these guys flying on you. They don't know that that you're modern day Grease Lightning, and that you got so much speed and so much skills that you got professional athletes that cannot catch you or not even tackle you because you're so slippery, right? Watch.
Yes.
Garland fumble the ball, pick it up. Nope, you're not getting me. Nope, you're not getting me. Nope, you're not getting me. Now I'm just going to straight flat out outrun you. Oh, no, let me get you up. You're not getting me. Thank you for the block. Oh, hold on. You think you got me, bro? I don't think so.
3 choices: a Gucci watch, a bunch of money, or a gold chain.
Jordan Brock, 50 on the Venmo. Neil Malplaisir, 50 on the Venmo.
So here's Dion's press conference, or his little explanation. I spoke to Dion yesterday before he went into surgery. I actually spoke to him. He went into surgery yesterday, and I didn't speak to him. I texted him. Let me be in full disclosure. I texted him because he was preparing. He was in pre-op. He's like, I'm actually at the hospital. He was an hour from going into surgery, and they were going to, they had just these blood clots. He has no feeling in the foot that he has, turf toe. Which, by the way, he's had 2 amputated. Last year he started having complications with it when he was the coach for Jackson State, and he went in for, to try to. Because Danny got to the point where he couldn't even feel his feet and he couldn't walk. He was dead-legged.
It's so brutal.
He literally could not. Your leg is completely paralyzed or numb. He couldn't hardly even walk. So at Jackson State, and whatever they did to remedy that, I guess, Dan, a lot of it was from Dion is susceptible to blood clots genetically.
Well, also maybe because there's a couple other reasons you could be susceptible to clots.
Okay.
Because the shots sometimes give you a hypercoagulability.
Oh.
No.
And that's why some of these people are just dying from,
But can I tell you something?
Problems.
I don't.
He absolutely got shot. Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, I'm not going to ask him. Hold on.
Well, it's so weird that you can't.
My son, Junior, stand up.
So they amputated two toes last year, and so this year he's been having complications with not being able to feel that foot again, and not being able to barely put any pressure on it. So they went in about a month ago and found more clots on his left leg, and now they found some clots on his right leg, and they are trying to get. They say though that this surgery that he had yesterday was going to be the one that kind of takes him over the top, just be able to really start healing this thing. This was kind of the final procedure.
So they're doing a thrombectomy, or are they doing a bypass?
I think a bypass.
Are they doing some vascular surgery?
Yes, it's all vascular.
Yeah. He does all our social media, so all the stuff you've been seeing, that's him.
$100 million, I need it. The glory, I need it.
Yeah, this is Dion Junior. Bucky, and Dion's got the racket down. Dion hired Bucky, his son, who was into like Anna, he was into videoing and producing videos and doing like that. But Dion, gets the University of Colorado to pay him to be Dion's personal social media.
So he's not even paying him.
No,
college
is
nice, and
he just follows his dad around all day, and they just splinter that into content and they distribute it on every different way. It would be how many total followers does he have? I mean. He's got Twitter, he's got Instagram, he's got Facebook, he's got TikTok, he's got it all. I mean, he's probably
got
the
3 million
big
followers on
he's
Instagram.
probably the big, in the coaching world, Anna. He's probably the largest influencer in the world. I mean, right? Take Nick Saban's and the guy Debo Swinney.
Yeah.
Take all the big college or even NFL coaches and look at their social media presence. I guarantee you, Dion's number one because he has his son Bucky just follow him around nonstop. Even if they're just sitting there at practice and Dion starts telling some old school stories, they get it, and he's really quite a good follow. So I think this might have been on his and this I guess this was on his YouTube channel, and he was explaining, Dan, what he was going in for.
I don't like hearsay.
Now, but I've talked to Dion since this video. I texted him right before he went in yesterday, and I did get a text this morning. I'd already been to bed when he got out, but he got out and said he was doing great.
Well, that's good news.
And he said, and she said, and they said, okay, it's what I said, all right? I apologize that I'm not going to be at the Pac-12 Media Day to have another surgery tomorrow. One in my leg as well as to remove other clots, and they got to go. You can even show these, but we really don't know for sure, but you can show. This is going to be the last time my toes look like that. Okay, you see how they all bent over? Tell them what they're going to do, Lauren.
They're going to straighten up.
So you can see, Dan, they've already amputated 2.
Damn.
Oh, these 2?
And this is the surgery that he just went through
they
yesterday.
Amputated the big one and the little one? Is that right?
Yeah, his first surgery yesterday that they amputate. I'm sorry, his first surgery last year, 2 years ago, is they took they amputated the 2 toes. They had to.
They're going to straighten this one out, and they're going to straighten this one out as well.
Right, and I'm really dislocated up on the bottom. I don't know if we're going to get to that.
Hold on.
No, that'll be another time. Yep.
That's a whole
but they're going
nother
to fix these 2 toes. So
and you can see, Dan, where they've had all the surgery in here. See?
Oh, really?
They've had to this. To get into these veins, you got to cut so you can see all the surgery that he's
that's
had.
where all the clots are.
Yeah. Look at all that scar.
they don't cause any more pain in the shoes.
Right, and they're going to get the blood clots out of this leg.
Of the right leg.
We already took care of him, got him out of this leg. Now we got to get him out of that. But God got me. So thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your
all right, so Dion.
So are the clots unrelated to the turf toe because it's in his other leg?
It's his other leg. He's just got a hypercoagulable state, which is unusual for a relatively healthy guy in his late 40s.
Right.
So, argument is, why is he hypercoagulable? Well, there's some objective reasons, and certainly the spike protein can become a chronic irritant to the vascular endothelium, causing increased clotting. It's one of Virchow's triad.
Well, hold on.
Yep.
Can you say that all again? Because I really like to go into the commercials with that super duper, like really, really, really smart sounding diagnosis of my good friend, exactly what he's got, and I'd like to hear that again because when you talk smart like that, it really makes really kind of turns me on, but it just really is like, yeah, we got a smart guy on the show.
Well, spike protein, which can be overexpressed in people that have had exposure to the virus or vaccine, can cause an endothelial irritation, which is part of Virchow's triad, which causes clotting. It's hypercoagulability, stasis, and venous injury.
Now, do you know that, or did you kind of look it up?
Just kind of make that up.
I just know that, dude. Come on. That's what I do for a living. It's like asking you, do you know how to press those buttons and how to talk?
He's Bubba in need. The Love Sponge of serious psychotherapy. Bubba the Love Sponge.
That break will probably be Bubba talks about Dion.
I feel badly for him. Because those clots, have nothing to do with this fucking turf toe.
No, nothing to do. He just got him by.
Yeah, why?
And now it's just an avalanche of the problems they cause.
I'm surprised they're doing the elective surgery at the same time they're doing the thrombectomies. That surprises me. Maybe because he's just pressed for time.
No, that's absolutely because he's not. He's not the. he's not being he's not being the ideal patient.
Right, because he's got such a schedule.
Right.
You
So
know
you
what
know,
I mean?
like you know, the ideal patient says, okay, if you're a banker or a lawyer or something like that,
Fix the blood first, then you go back
and your
into the
wife
dose.
and your life isn't so. I have to be on the fucking side and coaching you, like
pull the 100 directions.
So the lawyer or the responsible guy who's the business, I mean, is not so time sensitive. He says, okay, I go in for the first one. I wait 6-7 months to see how this does, and then I go in for the second one.
Right.
That's probably like, is that what the vascular doctor
Absolutely,
would say?
you fix the blood vessels before you fix the bones.
But you give them some time.
Yeah, a few months to heal.
Yeah,
right,
to see where we're at.
He's all scarred up. Do you see all that? It's a disaster to operate through that scar
Listen,
tissue.
I got to tell you privately, you know, back 2 years ago when I was talking to him when they took the first 2 toes, I actually spoke with him and he was in tears because the night before they were thinking it was going to be an ankle down amputation. It was that bad, and for them to try to salvage the 3 toes was like
a disaster.
Merch kick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But last year they were talking about
the whole foot,
and they were able to save that. So now, hopefully they can fix. Hopefully, I mean, because that's probably the next phase if this doesn't work.
Oh yeah, amputate.
And then get one of those really fancy prosthetics. But they do have unbelievable prosthetics.
Well, some of those prosthetics are faster than regular people.
I know.
I mean, can you imagine how fast he'd be on blades? He'd be like a 40.
Can you imagine Dion's next marketing deal was, man, I used to beat you with sneakers, but now I can beat you with blades.
Actually, I do have to pee.
Maybe because that
Sorry, Tat.
Pestronius, whatever that guy was, that had a shot. He was a
Pistorius.
rocket ship on those blades. Like he was running against regular people and beating them.
Well, but there might have been
there was an advantage.
There might have been a certain amount where the blades
You're lighter.
outperformed.
Yes.
You know, like you with legs did a 10.99, you without legs did a 9.9.
Right.
Because of the equipment.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely. Hey, remember that shooting my friend did with that girl got beat up by the crazy homeless guy? My friend shot at him. Yeah. He was formally recognized yesterday. I sent the news clip to Lummy.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, they formally recognized him.
Who recognized him?
I don't know. It was done by St. Pete, Tampa. Mayor's office, I think. Award goes to Tampa attorney who saved woman.
Can you get that to Lummy?
I just did, yes.
So that we can get that done before you leave?
Yeah. What are you doing this weekend?
Track.
Oh, you have to go to track because next weekend is a track day and you're doing the
No,
pre-track.
this is-
Oh, this is the track. Last weekend was your pre-track.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this is the big one.
But then I got 2 weekends off.
Okay, you go for a ride again?
Oh, fuck yeah. Absolutely.
My Canyon's supposed to ride today.
Would it be with the new one?
Canyon, yeah, the new one. I'll put it together.
Oh yeah, listen, as soon as you get the thing there and test ride it, then maybe let's plan for next week. If you get it soon.
Yeah, I was supposed to get it today.
Right, so if you do, get her all fucking dialed in so that maybe next Saturday we can do a live.
Yeah, that was one. 'Cause that was a nice ride. I enjoyed it.
It was
perfect.
And we'll just make it a ride. We won't make it a pickleball wheel either.
You do whatever you want, but let's get together. Absolutely. You have that moment. Let me just pee real fast.
Hey, there's a cocaine parody that's going to play by itself right after the rejoin. We listen to it. It's okay. Since you're eating.
So do I? No, I'm not eating now. Come on.
You want to play? If you're all playing now, we can do it.
I was just saying there's a new parody. We just.
I don't want it to self-fire.
Okay.
It won't. You don't ever have them fired on to 3.
No.
Oh, you got it scheduled.
Yeah.
No, well, let me fire it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking first.
We haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, I'll
if you
play
ever
it.
want to get bump anything, you check button.
Okay, but you can also drag stuff up there too, right?
Yes, sir. But you gotta be careful where you do it because of the pauses and stuff.
Right.
But it's right here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
It's up quicker, ticker. Right on close, fix tap. It's up on close. Yes, sir. If you fix send them over. Good. Check them out.
Hey, Lonnie, did you see that text I sent you?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
You sent it to Bubba, please?
Yep.
Live from Tampa, Florida, home of the big, fat, greasy bitch, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. And now, here's your host, Bubba the Love Sponge.
Man, that would sound unbelievable if I heard it like once every month. That would be like really sound big time. But since I hear it every day, it doesn't sound so big time.
No.
You see a hot chick every day.
She's not as hot anymore.
She's not as hot.
Yeah, it still makes you move a little bit, though.
So you're saying my promotional things that I'm tired of are maybe cougars at the bar? They're still needed?
Oh, yeah.
Is anything hotter than a cougar? Is there anything hotter than a hot cougar, like
no
45 to 50 at the bar, just trying to get picked up on? Is there anything hotter than
Yeah,
that?
a 25-year-old doing the same thing.
But I sent you a article. I sent you an article Dr. Dan wanted me to send you.
Oh, yeah. Dan's now barking out orders for you to send me articles. He's programming the show.
You asked me to say that.
I know. I was trying to get a little heat with you, but you don't know how to work. You snapped back on my heat.
Oh.
No, that's
now
okay.
you get the noise, too.
What's that?
And you get,
Yeah, then I get the side. Then I got to get the whining, the groveling, the throwing the fit. Most people just take my little slight, like I think, like my slight little verbal correction that I'll make to let you know that I don't appreciate the smart ass move that you put on me. Most employees just, take that in and roll with it. Make me feel good about myself. What do? You give me a anytime you talk,
thinking about it,
starting to correct Dan, starts throwing a fit. Doesn't he, Lummy?
Yes, he does.
Come on, I take correction well. Come on,
Hello.
I'm very malleable.
Hello.
Like
Dan, you're about the most unmalleable person I know.
I'm like a tungsten ring. I won't bend.
No, bull. Hello, who's that? Listen,
I'll crack, but not bend.
Quickly, I got a lot of talked about, and Kevin will be here in 30 minutes. What do you got?
Yeah, Dan's out.
Quickly, hello. All right, you had
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air, buddy.
Hey, Bubba.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me pull this bitch over.
Okay.
In my truck. I got a question for Dr. Dan.
Okay.
Who's Dr.
Listen,
Dan?
I gotta
pull this bitch over.
Yeah, let me pull it over right now.
Yeah. What do you got? What do you got, buddy?
I think I got a rare strain of the herpes. I have this sore that comes out on my ear, and it tested positive for herpes. This has been like 10 years in the making. So I had something happen with the wife. I had to get tested. It tested positive for genital herpes, but I don't have any lesions or anything. This strain is called herpes. I'm going to spell it GOSTUS OCTCUS, oticus, something like that. Have you ever heard of that, Dan?
Yeah, herpes oticus is because it's your ear. So you can get herpes simplex 1 or 2, and you can get either one on either part. So you can get herpes simplex 1 on your lip and 2 on your penis, or you can get herpes simplex 2 on your ear,
make that rhyme.
lip.
2 on your lip or 2 on your. You tried? Did you not? I mean, give him a +1. He tried to make it DIC. He tried.
It has something to do with the shingles virus.
Right. Well, so there's herpes zoster. So they're all similar, and you can get them anywhere. And what happens is, once you get them in a location, they come back to that location because they hide in the nerve roots
So are you
inside your
saying-
body. They come back out in those same areas.
because when it comes out, my ear, I look like a UFC fighter, like somebody punched me in my ear.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I got my wife made me get tested. That's a whole other story, bro.
Right. But you can get that anyway, man. You can get that anyway, and there's.
But can you tell your wife that though? I mean, like when you got it, when you got it,
something happened. Look, the Birch Creek. I emailed her a picture of my wife. She's in a little brownie outfit. And I wrote you. I left my number.
Man, what kind of email Merch Crick got going on around here? All this stuff I'm hearing she's getting.
Well, I asked her about it because she responded back to me and said sexy and cute.
All right,
so she knows what I'm talking about.
I think within my email server, I got a whole
You got a whole thread. The Merch Crick guy.
There's a whole other story that I'd have to tell on the after show. It's been like 50 years.
No, please don't.
Glory holes, massage prostate massage, all kind of shady stuff, which I had to get tested for herpes.
Yeah, I don't know if I need the Merch Crick talking to these type of people.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
it's scary.
Is this the guy that was on the sawhorse?
There's a whole story, so if you want to talk, I'm friends with D. Shannon Burke, too.
Do you have a friend that has...
No, hold on.
So is it your left ear or your right ear?
My left ear.
So do you have a friend that has like the same kind of lesion on the inside of the right thigh?
That's plus one for Dan.
All right. Listen, this is getting a little out of hand. Listen, sir. Now I got a caller telling me when to do pluses or minuses.
Well, I think he was trying to say Dr. Dan was correct.
Yeah, I think that's. I figured it out.
No, I think it's shingles related.
It's a shingle into an ear deal.
So Dan, what you're saying is what you just said in your crazy scenario. He's saying, 10-4. I mean, in a roundabout way, that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
And what was that synopsis?
My right labia or thigh had a little deal, some shingles on it. And now my left ear's got a shingle on it.
I mean, who gets ingles? Who gets ingles? I mean, you go deep, buddy. If you're getting shingles on the ear.
Wow. Yeah. He's buried his whole face.
I'm just saying, you might be
8 inches deep, dude.
You might want to back off your technique a little bit if you're getting it. If you're getting it ear deep. If you're going
deep,
buddy. If you're going ear deep,
or you just like rub it. Are you like rubbing your ear in it?
Or you're either
like a new technique.
No.
It's like the ear rub.
Hold on. You're either going ear deep or you're doing like I'm worshiping the vagina with my ear.
I can do small circles.
Both are very weird.
All the shady stuff I've done in my life.
I know you got herpes of the ear.
Yeah,
which means you're taking your ear and like putting it on, various
around the farm.
I've never heard of a guy earring a girl.
I could hear the ocean.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. In all the years that I've been doing crazy stuff, I've never heard of a guy go, "Hey, guess what?
What happened,
Dan, Dan, see that chick over there?
Yeah.
See how hot she is?
Yeah.
You know what I did?
Yeah.
For Dan,
what'd you do?
I eared her.
No!
Yeah.
Get out!
Yeah, I did it.
Little circles or big circles?
No, just listen. There was no intercourse. There was no making out. There was no. She didn't even do anything to my lollipop. I just rubbed my ear on her vagina all night long.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
How did it sound?
It's not funny. It actually is very painful because it has
Sir,
to do with
it's not funny.
It's hilarious.
It's absurd. It's weird.
I'm going through
Sir,
it right now.
It's weird.
It's weird.
And how can like
not laughing is not going to make it go
away.
How
do you explain that to your wife? How do you explain it to your wife? I mean, probably wasn't your wife.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with sexually, Trey. I think it has to do with shingles.
What are you saying? You touched the.
It says it's a reactivation of the chickenpox virus.
Did you have chickenpox in the ear?
Right.
So at your chickenpox party, were you getting too close? Were you listening to somebody?
No, I'm
I'm
going through it right now. It's flared up. That's why I'm.
Acyclovir.
Dan says.
Well, look.
Take acyclovir; it'll go away faster.
Dan, what's your?
I had that. I tried to go to a urologist this week, but trying to get an appointment is ridiculous. I'm on
because you got an ear problem. You're talking. You go to your urologist. My ear's got a herpes on it. I need to call the urologist. I will see you next year, kid.
Hold on. When you're talking to urologist, man, hold on.
I can't hear you.
When you're talking to when the secretary at the urology, buddy, you got to be really frantic. You got to go like, "Ma'am, please, you have to help me. I got these big old sores on my ears, and I can't wear it."
Burns what I hear.
If we lived in Wisconsin, I could wear a toga all year round. But I mean, I can't wear a beanie hat. I can't. My ears have to be open. I can't hide my ears. So can you get me in to see the doctor because I got ear herpes because I like to rub my ears on girls' infested vaginas?
Ear burns when I pee.
I mean, that's the only way. That's the only way you can get ear herpes is you went and took your ear and used it quite, viciously on a woman's vagina.
Or you had some guy with herpes pee on your ear.
I live in New Orleans, so
So, sir, I don't know what advice you were looking. I don't know what you initially called for. I don't know what advice you were initially looking for. I just know that you got ear herpes.
I was asking Dan if he had ever heard of that.
Yes.
No pun intended.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it. I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it in the eyelids.
No, I'm not looking for any sick-ass herpes ear email from the Merge Cricket, nor is that bitch. I'm having a conversation with her since the show's over.
She could send her some used headphones.
How in the hell? Listen, Merge Cricket, what kind of conversations are you having with these Bubba Army people?
Yeah.
Just answer their question and give her their information. Stop trying to make it into some kind of sex ear herpes
Don't share earbuds.
forum.
That's a PSA here is that don't share your earbuds.
When people start getting personal, say, hey, listen, that's not what this, just I'm here to give information only, not be your ear herpes therapist. Jesus God Almighty!
I got a good story to tell if you want to hear it.
I don't want to hear your story. I don't want to hear any more stories from you. Okay.
All right.
Just good luck on your ear herpes, buddy.
New Alpazir 50 on the Venmo.
What? I mean, Dan. Was he messing around on some? I mean, how do you think?
No, you can get shingles or herpes anywhere on your body. Any skin can get that eruption, and it's painful. It sucks, and don't ear F anyone.
But did he get it through ear effing, or
he probably could have just gotten it, or he could have scratched his ear afterwards.
Well, he said he used to go to glory holes.
Right. Well, I mean, it could have been anything, dude. It could have been anything. He could have been somewhere and then scratched his ear afterwards.
Yeah. So the reason why we think that we may have not gotten it organically, Dan, is because of his bragging is what he's done, all the sexual stuff that he's done.
Yeah.
That makes us want to put sex into it.
Well, I'd want to put sex into it too. We all do.
Hello, who's this? You're on the air. Yeah, you're on the air.
Hey, I just wanted to call and kind of mark out to Dan.
Sure.
Well, we're he's going to be doing some procedures for my wife, and it was kind of like an emergency thing, and we had a trip coming, and his office just got everything together. Jennifer, she runs a tight ship over there.
Well, listen, she's the true hero.
I'm just a jobber.
Nice ass, bad attitude. Jennifer.
Dan's gonna work a miracle too.
Well, Dan, you're the artist. You have to have a great support system, okay? You're the artist. You're the hired gun. You're the closer. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so that's how you need to. That's how you need to. Look at this. Not that you got a job
Mariano
now.
Rivera.
Yeah, your office, all this, all the infrastructure and all the stuff that Jennifer and the pre-op people have to do to get you ready to be able to for this woman to qualify. She has to come in for a consultation and all this kind of stuff. So she's seen a lot of people before she sees the guy that walks in as the man. It's gonna, make it all go, fix it all, right? I mean, you're like there should be like spaghetti music, play as soon as you walk in, like when you walk in, right, Danny? I'm just saying. Don't get mad at Jennifer. Is the glue that Dan can be a dick and think that he's the main man, but Jennifer is the glue that keeps all of Dan's whole world together for real.
Yes,
she is just the best.
She's critical.
Oh yeah, and she's very helpful. She said she went out of her way to
she's
kind of
very
find
attractive and she's very sassy.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that it's all working out, and we'll take good care of you.
Yep, we'll see you soon.
All right,
yes,
buddy.
Sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Do you know who that is?
He probably knows the exact case.
Exactly what it is.
This guy's calling you up saying, "Man, do my mama right." Man, Dan, you are. I mean, you are.
He's a hero.
He's the man, is he not?
Yes, he is.
What other radio personalities are getting calls from a man saying, "You know what? Listen, after your show, my wife's going to be on the operating board under your skillful knives. Please do a good job." Man, nobody's that and a radio host, right?
Nope.
Just saying, Dr. Dan, you'll be having this guy, you'll be doing a plastic surgery procedure on this man's wife soon, and he wants to call you on the show and tell you how cool you are.
That's awesome. I mean, how many guys get to talk on the radio and do a boob job the same day? You know?
Yeah, you're right.
It's like
Deion can score.
Sanders.
How many people get to talk on the radio? No, I'll better you. How many people get to talk on the radio, do a boob job, and then drive a Ferrari to the law firm
and take a deposition,
and then take right?
Exactly.
How many people do talk radio, plastic surgery, and depositions in the same day?
No,
you might be the only human. I mean, you might be that. What you do might be rarer than even the Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, the best two athletes in the world deal. What human being do you know is a major talk show host in the morning, goes and is a plastic surgeon doing breast augmentations and rhinoplasties and tummy tucks and all this kind of stuff in operating room conditions and all that, and then in a court of law, all jacketed up, asking deposition questions as a lawyer? I don't know if there's any other human being in the world.
Well, thank you for giving me that opportunity, Bubba. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I'm just saying, thank you for being that big of a pimp. My Lord, I don't know if we even know how big of a pimp we have be up upon us, Lummy. You know what I'm saying? We might want to back it down a notch, start giving Dan a little more respect around here. No, we got to keep Dan. We got to keep Dan down.
Keep those negative
You're
points.
good at that, Bubba.
You know what, Dan? See, I think me keeping you down kind of balances out your life because you're so over the top that you being quelled down for the first 4 hours of your day might help. You not spool up so fast. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and even though you're trying to keep me down, I still leave here pretty animated.
I know. Hello.
Hey, I have something for Dr. Dan. Sorry, Bubba. I know we've been on him all for a
Jesus,
while
my
now.
God! I mean, did Dan call like an Indian phone farm to call in and ask Dr. Dan questions?
Well, it's weird that it's right before 8 o'clock when he has to leave.
Yeah.
His phone calls.
Interesting.
Hello. Go ahead for your
Yeah.
for your Dr. Dan question on the Bubba the Love Sponge show that's quickly turned into the Dr. Dan show. Go ahead.
So, Dr. Dan, I talked to you a while back about my son having an operation on G-tube that you didn't want to take the case, but we had a medical review meeting with the hospital, and in that medical review, we uncovered that they didn't document that he had thrown up after the procedure at all. So they sent him home under the guise of everything was fine. And we found that out in the the guy who's in charge of covering the hospital's ass when I said the words, so you're telling me there was no documentation that he puked at all. His eyes got super big and it looked like he got really scared. And they said that they had to go back and do more investigating on the situation. But the doctor who messed up the surgery was totally taking over that meeting. Anytime someone tried to put in any input, he would cut them off and basically finish what they were trying to say. So I don't know where to go from here. What would you suggest, being a doctor and a lawyer?
Oh, no, he's a lot more than that, my friend. He's a doctor, a lawyer, a talk show host, a therapist. I mean, a triathlete,
your boyfriend.
My boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesus.
If call my office today, and I'll call you back this
Hold
afternoon.
on, you got to tell him what office,
He
buddy.
knows the number. He knows the number.
What?
888 SOS firm.
888 SOS firm. That happens to be
and we'll talk a little bit more about it.
That happens to be his legal office.
Okay.
He also has the plastic surgery center as well.
Which is 888848 Diacos.
This guy's a pimp. Call Dan's law office. Leave your
We'll talk
information.
together.
Dan will talk to you about it. Okay.
We'll talk to you about it a little more.
All right.
See if we can't do something there.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Hold on. And then let me. You know that guy we just talked about that did a talk show host and went on to be a plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
And they went on. Then within his talk show host world, he's given great advice for people that need legal advice. You know what? Guys that are really, really stuck within his talk show world, he's even saving lives. I mean, he's just the man, is he not?
He is. That's why it's Planet Dan. So I got a shirt on.
Love that, Ummy.
Hold on.
Makes me smile.
Is this the is this a pre-roll, Ummy, or is this?
No, I think this
We
is
first told you about the Samaritan was
All right. This is. I think am I late? Am I one late, Lummy? Yeah, I am one late. I am one late. I'm trying to stay a little bit better on time. This will be our last story before we go into words. Remember the lawyer, the attorney, one of Dan's friends?
Yes, Chuck McKeon.
Chuck McKeon was, him and his son were walking home from a restaurant.
And wife.
And wife. Yes, I'm sorry. And in a very affluent part of town. In a
Hyde Park.
I mean, Tampa, Florida, the Hyde Park. It's
one of the premier areas.
Yeah, it's like, it's
commercially premier. It's the nicest commercially, it's like mixed commercial residential. It's the nicest part of that town.
Right, like, it's really the template of what, like living in Tampa would be. You got it's a really, really close-knit
by
community.
The water, it's nice restaurants, good shopping, pretty houses.
Very,
parks.
very, it's a very affluent, uppity part of town.
Yeah, it's a pretty part.
Today for saving a woman who was attacked.
So he's walking home from this restaurant, and he sees this, and this is what happens.
Here's a scream.
While walking in Tampa's Hyde Park. We first told you about the story when it happened back in May.
I mean, look how beautiful that community is. All on the water.
The victim told us that out of nowhere, a homeless man started beating her in the head. She didn't think anyone was coming to help until a local attorney and his son showed up. Fox 13's Ariel Placencia shows us how they're now being honored.
Our final recipient of the Citizen Appreciation Award for this quarter goes to Charles McKeon.
The Tampa attorney says he doesn't need a certificate or the recognition.
I didn't even know that they did things like this. I'm certainly humbled by it.
He's just grateful. He was there when a new friend needed help the most.
I think we did no more than, anyone else would have done.
I said, no, not anybody would do that because you really put yourself in a lot of danger to step in between that. And so I just don't have any words to thank him.
On May 5th, Taylor was walking in Hyde Park when this man, Eshad Nadopa, beating her.
How to kill all mosquitoes in the area in 90 seconds. This simple but brilliant trick you can do tonight to...
The attacker then turned his attention to the attorney, striking him in the head.
I had a minor concussion from it.
McKeon, who was armed, fired his weapon.
You should have had McKeon at least come to Diaco Law so you had a cool backdrop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like McKeon.
Come on.
Come on, buddy.
Come on, man.
Come over to my place. You'll have $1 million backdrop. Nobody's not going to know it's not your office. We're going to put you over a little bit there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The shot missed. His son quickly stepped in to help, and eventually, Nadopa walked away.
I still am very proud of what my son did.
They are a brave family, and the community...
Charles placed himself in harm's way to save the victim.
Recognizing that courage on Thursday.
Please join us in congratulating Charles McKeon.
And she continued...
That poor woman right there, I should say, that very lucky woman right there.
That poor woman, she suffered.
No, both. That
got
very poor,
ass whooped.
Poor and lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just by the grace of God, by whatever that you were at the if our friend hadn't been at that particular time walking there to see that moment, she could be dead.
Absolutely. And the difference between a hero and a zero is he pulled out a gun. A zero would have pulled out a camera.
Continues to stand strong after the attack.
He really hurt me, and I'm not.
And Dan with a real heavy.
It's true though. How many times you see someone getting attacked, and instead of someone helping, they pull out a freaking camera and videotape it, and just sit there heckling.
Settle down.
It's just irritating.
I know. I just settle down. You're getting whipped up, buddy.
The gratefulness that I have after that incident.
And while Thursday's award recognized McKeon's bravery, he says it's Taylor's resilience that should be remembered too.
She has just been so strong through this whole event and continues to be. So
I'm
just really proud of the person.
She's pretty hot.
She is.
I'm not trying to make
skinny.
this. I'm really not trying to make this inappropriate.
Pretty, yeah.
I'm really not trying to make this inappropriate because he is our friend, and I'm not trying to make this inappropriate. But girl was hot as hell.
Yeah.
Whew. She's the girl you saved, man. Whoa.
That she is.
Gosh, in a world where there's so many bad things that can happen, to see good people,
I'd be like making hey, listen, don't forget who saved your life there, Mom. If you're free for dinner.
Hey, it's me with my black.
Hey, it's me. I know that you're home alone. We're just drinking some wine.
Yeah, I have no herpes on my ears. I promise.
I thought maybe a little repayment kind of deal. Help me out a little bit.
In Tampa,
I could never thank him enough.
Ariel Placencia,
Oh, yeah.
Fox 13 News. Well-deserved honor. It is nice these days to see
Just our luck. She's got a big 6'5", macho man looking bodybuilder husband.
Somebody willing to step into trouble like that, and he.
Yeah, but where was he? Where was he when all this was going down?
A world of difference. The 34-year-old suspect
got caught.
Has a pre-trial court date set for September 19th.
That guy's 34. Yikes.
Who's 34?
The bad guy, the scary bad guy, the homeless bad guy.
Yeah,
crazy. Again, it's mental health. That guy has obvious mental health issues. He's crazy. And
he has nowhere to get.
And
he has
now he's
nowhere
going
to
to just be another crazy guy in jail.
And you know what? His downward spiral. All during his downward spiral in life, he never had a community place that he could go get help. Right? We've defunded. We've defunded all of those programs, have we not?
Yes, we
pretty
have.
Much defunded
we emptied out the mental institutions and filled the jails instead. That's
what we did.
It's absolutely what we did. If you look at the graphs, the numbers of mental institutions plummet from the 60s, and the numbers in prisons escalate dramatically since the early 60s. And we've substituted jail for mental health.
We substituted mental health for jail.
Yeah, for mental health services.
Man, Lummy, I gotta go into words, but Dan with a -1 on the stumble.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, now he leaves. -1.
Dan, we're going to do the change out, and Kevin's here.
Okay.
Back with Kevin.
Okay, guys. Have a great day.
The real target of the vast right-wing conspiracy.
What the hell? What the hell? What the?
Bubba the Love Sponge.
I've heard the word surreal, and that's all there is for it.
I know you were positive. Well, technically we're even, but
it happens. He unfumbled the ball before he made a touchdown. There you go.
Did Dan leave?
I'm about to.
Switching out the mic.
I'll get this in the trash.
There's cake there. Gimme. What's up, Chizak?
All right.
What's up, Kevin?
Anna.
Yep.
Day.
You too.
Look at this. Look at this switch over.
Look at all the style and grace and that is grunge right here.
Look, but if you analyze Dan and Kevin as dudes, man, like
Good to see you.
Kevin's kind of calculated. It's the Taurus in the hair.
Absolutely.
It is. Kevin's fucking straight down the middle, fucking.
So is it
not flashy, and Dan's out there fucking with his rabbit and his gold, and he's just fucking getting straight after it.
Is it the 18th or 19th? I can't remember.
Today's 20th.
No. I'm talking of August for the drag race.
Oh,
Ferrari drag race.
He wants to do Rivian versus Ferrari.
Really?
He thinks his Rivian can outrun your Ferrari. Nah.
I think we fucking $1 million years. Did you bring it today?
I did.
Let me see.
It's out there.
Got your look. Where did you get that at?
I found it for you the other day.
Lummy, it would have been so much funnier on the air.
Hey, Kevin, good morning. Oh, sorry, good morning. How are you? Sorry.
I'm sorry.
It would have been so much funnier.
It was sitting there when I was letting
but it'd
you
be so much more funnier on the air.
I'm sorry.
Here,
All right.
just
I got you.
Just sometime during the show, just say, Bub, I got
Morning,
something for you.
All right.
An interesting question just popped in my head,
Yeah, to me.
but I think I need to write it down
Yeah.
and
ask on the air.
do it on the air because I think it would lose its spontaneity.
Okay.
And so hold on.
All right.
I understand. Yeah. Stop, go, stop, go.
Stop, go, stop, go.
Plus, we got that new parody.
Yes, we do. From Dark Match Steve. Great guy, great guy. Great guy. Thank you, Eden in the house.
These did too.
Oh, Bubba, that window that he closed out that all of a sudden auto played.
Yeah.
I'll send it back to you.
What are you talking about?
What that started playing during that news story? You X'd out of it.
What?
For the RFK thing.
I got it right here, ready to go. Look.
No, there's the other one.
I got that one's right here.
Okay, sorry.
Motherfucker, do not slip on my motherfucking skills.
Oh, I did.
Bitch.
I just saw that you autoplay. It autoplayed.
But what I'm just saying is, bitch, don't fucking sit here and slip on my skills.
Oh, I wasn't slipping on you. I was slipping on the computer.
Did you see I had it ready to go?
Oh, 100%.
Boom, my two next stories, because I got Kevin here, and it's about politics. I'm segueing from, I got this one little honor thought, and then I'm going right into the RFK deal. That's how I have my shit fucking set up.
I just couldn't see the second tab.
But don't ever question.
Oh, I didn't. I just didn't want to have to interrupt you.
No.
To send you a link.
But you had already sent me a link, lover.
I know. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Just say you were just double checking.
I was just double checking, Bubba.
So that the segment went smoothly.
Correct. So the segment went smoothly.
Right. So let's practice it. Let me. Why on earth, you motherfucker? Why would you ever think about
I'm sorry, Bubba. I was just double checking because I wanted the segment to go smoothly. I'm so sorry. I was just double checking the work.
Okay, buddy. No problem.
I would never doubt you, Bubba. I was just doubting myself.
Life hasn't slowed down.
No, it's slowed down a little bit. It's just that
you're so funny.
I feel like we got a lot going on.
I got you.
I would never doubt you, Bubba. I'm only doubting myself. Say it, lover.
I would never doubt you. I'm doubting myself. I do that a lot. So you think you could beat his Ferrari?
Well, we all know that I could beat his Ferrari.
Okay.
What we...
I apologize for interrupting your regular program.
Yo, Power
Should hit these with everything we got, sir.
Living vicariously through his bizarre world.
Imagine how much protein's in my body.
This is the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Now that's an interesting exchange, the Dan Kevin exchange. Because when you go from one guest to another, there's pleasantries and and talk because everybody's friends.
Of course.
Dan, basically almost all of my friends and radio people are all friends of each other.
That's why it works, because they all started out organically as friends first.
All right, so there's never like when Dan sees Kevin, there's never like any I don't know, like it's like Dan, hey, what's going on, man? Because all my inner world kind of all knows each other.
That's
right?
correct. Yes.
And so anyway, the Dan Kevin change out just went down with a twist today. Usually it's, hey, Kevin, hey, Dan, how's it doing? Well, I'm doing good. We're this and that, millionaire this, millionaire that, and, conference here, conference that, racing here. And then with Kevin, it's, me and Missy, we've been to Bora Bora and Fiji, and we're going to see all four of our sons this summer, and we're going to be traveling. We just got back from our place in Asheville. Today's exchange was, which one?
Raw power.
Kevin now is Johnny Hot Rod, and so Kevin now, Johnny Hot Rod, tells Dan. Now, we already know that Dr. Dan's Johnny Hot Rod. Like, we know Dan is
zero question.
Like, he's Johnny. I like to have a fast car. He's Johnny Sports Car, is he not?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Kevin, you're not Johnny Sports Car.
Exact opposite.
No, you're. In fact, prior to this latest thing that you got, you drive an F-150
pickup truck. That's right.
I mean, you drive. You might be worth millions of dollars, but you drive. Your daily driver is an F-150 crew cab.
That's right.
Boom. Right. Now, you just recently kind of got into the fancy club, and you got this new Rivian that you actually challenged.
We never thought it was gonna be here.
I never thought, Anna, in a million years that
I just cost Lumby like $1,000 because he just lost a bet.
That the Dan Kevin changeover would ever consist of. Do you want to do a drag race between our two fast cars?
And Kevin's confident too.
Yeah. So I'm very confident.
Like, Kevin's never been Johnny Gear guy ever, right? He's Johnny, I drive an F-150 guy, and he rolls up in here all Kevin out and says, hey Dan, who's gonna win the big drag race? I challenge you to a drag race with your big.
Well, I brought the gloves. I slapped it in the face the old-fashioned way.
With your fancy Ferrari, I now have a Rivian SUV electric Willie.
Finally,
That's after 8 years, but that is comparable in speed. Have you done the statistics? Like what the 0 to 60 statistics are?
I think the Rivian is 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
Okay.
So I don't know. Someone is going to have to tell me.
I'm looking at SF90.
And I assume that is a real Ferrari out there. Did we check it? The engine?
Oh no!
Since when is Kevin been a smack talker?
Wow.
Not only is he.
This is what politics taught him.
Usually Kevin is just the nicest guy ever. He's not talking smack.
Oh.
Now he's coming in here with a T-shirt, all buffed out, with an electric car that does a 3-second 0 to 60, puffing his chest out, being Johnny Swagger guy.
No, but also I think Dan's is like a half second faster.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's like 2.5.
I know, but Dan, you've never been within a half second of Dan.
Oh no, of course not. No.
Car-wise, in your entire life, since you and Dan have been friends for well more than 20 years, you've never had a vehicle that was within a half a second of his vehicle.
Half a second? How about 2 seconds?
That's what I'm saying. How about 3 seconds?
Yes, exactly.
So, finally, you're almost getting as fast as Dan vehicle-wise. Look at you, buddy.
It's kind of feeling the cool kid club here.
So, Anna, before I get into some politics stuff
here, yeah,
I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yeah, you wrote it down during the break.
I did, and I'm worried. And it goes right along the lines of what I was talking about with, the exchange of going from Dan to Kevin, like that exchange that you have to make.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to cash up.
We as the hosts of a program, we have to adapt to the person in that chair.
We do,
right? And so within that, now I can do it seamlessly because I've done it for so many years.
But you can't, Anna.
Right, and I know I know Kevin, and I know Dan, and I know Jay, and I know, I know. And so, but think about you.
Yeah,
you are the closest to them, and think about all the Anna change outs in your little head. You have Dan that you have to act a certain way with.
Yeah,
you got Brian that you have to have you got a whole different swagger with Brian than you do Dan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like we have sometimes we have Regina in there, so you got like a sister girl kind of deal with her. Sometimes we have Kevin in there. You and Kevin get along. I mean, like you and Kevin are truly friends. And really, you enjoy.
He's the only person that's nice to me around here.
Right. Well, I'm not trying
that's
to
make a lie.
You don't have to be the ugly girl in the corner.
Ouch, Macho Man's hurting
only
too.
guy that's nice
right. What the hell?
He's the only guy that's nice to me around here. Like you're some fat 300-pounder. Like he's the only guy.
It feels that way.
No.
What do looks have to do with it?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? The only
I didn't say that.
The only person that put looks into it. Hold on. The only person that put looks into it was you, Anna.
What?
You're the one that put looks into it. None of my stuff had anything to do with looks. We all think that you're a cute girl.
Okay.
You're the one that's Kevin's the only one that's nice to me.
Well, sometimes that's true.
And then you got Jay,
Oh, Jay's nice to
and
me.
then you got Steve. So what I was what I was just thinking is all the different type of person. I mean, you have a different way you have to handle each one of these people.
No doubt.
You handle Jay way different than you handle Dan.
Yeah.
Way different than you handle Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Way different than you handle Kevin.
Yep.
Way different than you handle Gina.
Yep.
Way different than you handle Steve.
Yep.
So I mean, like, there's you got to be this little this little karma camellia over there that just able to change with all these different personalities. Because I'm thinking about those personalities: Dan, Brian, Gina, Kevin, Jay, and Steve Diaco. Think about just the vast different of personalities you have amongst all those people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that's kind of a reflection of life, right? I mean, you're not the same person you are around your mom as well. Maybe you are, Bubba. That you are around like your friends. That you are around your significant other. That you are around your kids. That you are around your parents.
But
like
hold on.
you have to adapt.
You're right. And just think about. I was just thinking about how you have to adapt. Lummy doesn't really have to adapt. He's just over there. He's just everybody's. I got Kevin. Then I got Gina. Then I got Jay. And then I got Brian. Sometimes Brian doesn't make me too happy. No. But I got Dan and I got Steve and I got Kevin. It's kind of like that guy from Mice of Men. You know, you're like, you know, the big dumb guy that we're going to go see the rabbits.
That's right.
You really are the guy going to go see the rabbits.
Yeah.
Am I the guy that shoots you in the back of the head?
Yes.
Kevin in that world, the Mice and Men, the bad guy. Am I him? Am I the one that shoots Lummy in the back of the head?
You are.
Kevin, real lawyer like you are.
You're the Dick Cheney.
Correct. Well, that was in the eye.
You are correct, sir.
Perfect.
Oh man, so Kevin, what's been going on, man?
Well, I was talking to Anna. You know, it's in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm just because I want to get back into a Kevin's Law. I was talking to Rock the other day.
I do too. I want you back in the mix.
I really, 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 really enjoy it, and
it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun because
it's Anna's Law.
Plus, hold on now. Hold on,
because it is. I have to wrestle the mic from Anna.
But here's the deal. What you don't realize, I think that you do realize, and I think you will absolutely 100% agree with me, when you do a Kevin's Law, it gives you an outlet, and it's kind of therapeutic.
It is.
In the fact that you got to keep all of that inside. If you don't have a Kevin's Law to unpack all of that, it just kind of makes you more of a boiling point over during the week.
I'm backed up.
But if you got Kevin's Law, that opens the lid and kind of lets you like therapeutically air it out a little bit.
100%.
Yeah, and you haven't had it for a long time, and so I'm thinking we need to get a Kevin's Law deal going again.
Yeah, I think so. It just like I said, it was a lot of fun. We got into deep stuff and got to really chew on some good stuff, and I really enjoyed it.
Now we have Rumble and YouTube, and it's not nearly as even lockdowny or like
censor happy.
Yeah, like you could really get into some of the really controversial topics.
We did, but we're never really worried about the censor issues, really.
No, I know that, but now, man, you don't even have to worry. Not that you guys were like trying to be, extra shocky or anything like that.
Not at all.
Just and there was a period of time during COVID that very, 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 smart men's comments on their platform got them canceled.
Exactly.
I mean, so, and you have some of those beliefs.
Well,
some of those beliefs.
Well,
I never really knew where you stood on the vaccine.
Right.
I mean, I never really did. I think you are kind of more of a don't worry about where I'm. It doesn't matter. It's really none of your business.
Yeah, I think I'm more of a laissez-faire. Like I don't interfere in other people's lives. I don't want to dictate people what they do. I think that's part of the freedoms of what they have. But I don't want people telling me what to do either. I mean, that's the thing that probably bothered me most about the whole vaccine issue was the fact that we throttled back free flow of information for people to get other perspectives to make decisions from. And I think we should all make that decision. And we should have access to information. And of course, the problem, like anything, is that as you know more, you know more. And I think if we go back to see what happened, we look at ourselves going, what were we thinking? How do we allow that to happen? But you didn't know at the time. But I like the fact. I think COVID, that whole lockdown, for me, in a lot of ways, was a good thing from the standpoint I got to spend more time with my family.
Yeah,
I got to do things I never would have had a chance to do.
And it came right after the election, after you just ran yourself ragged.
No, but it was before. No, it was before.
Before.
No, it was before.
Oh, that's right. COVID was before
your.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But, that's right. You ran post-COVID.
Yeah,
like
post-COVID.
2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. My bad. My bad.
But and hypothetically, if I
You're
would
such a mover and shaker, I can't even keep up with your years. I'm so sorry.
If I would have gone back in time, I would have run during COVID. That would have set up a second election. But that's neither here nor there. But the reason I like COVID is it just like
whoa.
What's that?
What's the reason I like COVID?
I mean, the COVID lockdown.
The reason why COVID was the best thing that ever happened to me
Shut up.
was...
I like Kevin saying the reason I like COVID.
Well, listen, you might think it's bad, and it killed a couple of people, but here's the issue. It did. Anna, I don't know if you believe it or not.
Yeah.
Are you a denier now?
No, I think it was a few more than a couple.
So moving right along, Kevin.
Sorry.
Moving right along.
No, what I meant, obviously, is the lockdown. I think it brought a lot of people together. I think it facilitated a lot of companies and countries moving forward at a faster pace. And we moved past a lot of things. For example, there's legislation right now, the Supreme Court of Florida, that would dictate that all court appearances less than 30 minutes would go to a Zoom court. And I think the average person who doesn't understand what lawyers do, who litigate, is they spend a lot of their times driving to and from courts, not accomplishing anything. And it's so much
within the legal world, man.
Yeah, I mean,
within the legal world, COVID-19 completely streamlined your whole system.
Yes.
I mean, there's not a lot of industries that can say COVID streamlined and has made our business more efficient, right?
Yeah, yes.
And now we don't have to have near the bailiffs at the courts because we don't have near as many people coming to the actual physical courthouse.
Yes, that's what I mean.
You would regularly have to go to the courthouse for a hearing. There's a difference between having jury trials. Those obviously involve the courthouse, but just little hearings. The unbelievable amount of hearings that you have to do in front of a judge for a big court case. People don't even some people just think, Kevin, that you can say, I'm suing you, and then 2 weeks later you're in court. Like, people don't understand necessarily the infrastructure of a lawsuit and the years and years of discovery and how many, 10, 15, 20, 30 times you might have to go in front of a judge for a ruling of some sort of interpretation of a case law or something like that, right? I mean, like,
I agree.
And normally you would have to go to the courthouse for even those little rulings, right?
What I mean by is, of course, I'm talking about the positives. There's tons of negatives about the whole COVID and the COVID lockdown. But the positives that I see is, A, it brought a lot of people together in family time that they wouldn't have seen otherwise. Number two, it accelerated a lot of businesses that fast-forwarded things that would have taken another 20 or 30 years to get to. And in the legal world, I mean, we have the technology to go ahead and to appear remotely, and it's absurd that you require people to spend all the time on the road, all the time parking, all the time walking upstairs, and many times for a 30-second interaction on something that could have been taken care of over Zoom. And that's what I mean by using that technology in a positive way. And I think that's I think it's accelerated it. You've got, telemedicine was accelerated. I think, whether it's good or bad, I mean, in a lot of ways it's good because you have quicker access to doctors. But in regards to lawyers, I went from having people come to my office, to visit me or my partners to hire us, to now doing a lot of that remotely. And I think that...
Well, let me ask you this. You used to be before COVID came,
right,
in your world with regards to having to go to the courthouse and physically stand in front of a judge, or to, be in a deposition and physically have to be in the same room, or to, again, do conferences and things like you were talking about. It used to be 100% to nothing.
Right.
What is it now? What is the ratio of Zoom versus having to do things in person in the legal business? Everything from seeing the judge to getting a ruling.
And I think Jay would echo this. Almost 90% of civil law has gone to remote access.
That much?
Yeah, that's civil. Criminal, depending on the judge, it's kind of like here and there. But if this ruling comes from the Supreme Court, it will mandate that every lawyer has the option, and the judge shall require lawyers not to appear in person for minor hearings.
So you're saying there's actual legislation in front of the
state statute, yes,
of the Florida State Supreme Court,
correct,
that states we encourage you to do Zoom if you can. Basically, I mean,
for non-evidentiary hearings,
right. We the Supreme Court are encouraging you not to do just the tic-tac little knick-knack stuff in the courtroom. Just do that Zoom.
That's right.
Now, what would be an example criminally, or civilly that you would give me the threshold of where you can Zoom it versus have to go.
So let's say that someone's charged with battery or whatever, grand theft, for example. You would have the ability to go ahead and appear. Like we're sitting in your studio. I have 3 screens up. I could be in 3 different counties.
Oh,
at one time, and the also the beauty of it is from a standpoint of scale, you could then represent people in maybe 5 or 8 or 10 counties. In the morning, you come to your office with a unsweet iced tea and a splash of sweet, and maybe a coffee backside, and you have it all laid out like this. And I just go from county to county to county from a camera,
from a fortress center,
exactly,
from literally. Like almost a television production studio. You just sit there and you have you got Charlotte County on your left, you got Pinellas County in the middle, you got Hillsborough County to the right, you got Pasco County to the far right, and you just sit there and
you just click in when you're called.
Wow!
But see, think about
Does that really? Do you really do that?
Yes, during COVID.
For real?
In COVID, I would come to my office. I had 2 screens up, and I would be on waiting to be called for my court appearance in 4 or 5 courtrooms. And when I get called, I clicked on it, and then the camera went live.
But of course, no, Kevin, you have a professional backdrop, and you're usually in a suit. Am I not? Am I right?
Did you have a weird green screen? Were you in space?
No, I didn't do that. That was not my vibe.
When you do Zoom? When you do Zoom, Kevin, what do you use for your backdrop?
Well, I use my natural office, and
that's
of
the
course,
best.
and then I had a judge. Of course, I have an office with the seal of Florida behind me because it looks like a courtroom,
right?
And the judge is like, Mr. Hazlett, your court, is that fake? I said, no, it's not. Yes, it's fake. And I got up, I had to knock on it, and they go,
hold on. So hold on.
He thought it was
somebody
because
called
it was so
you out.
good. Yeah,
somebody called
did.
you out and said you had a green screen, Willie.
Exactly.
And you had to go back there and knock on the wood because your backdrop's so good.
Because I've got my own courthouse, my courtroom that I built my office. So I'm like going, Judge, I said, I sense some jealousy here because my courtroom's better than yours.
So you're flirting with the judge.
Oh,
That's
yeah, yes, exactly.
But those judges, if you're a guy like Kevin, if you're a rookie trying to pull that type of smart-assness on a judge, that ain't going to be so good.
Right.
But when you're Kevin Hazlett and you've probably been in front of this judge 52 other times and you've seen him on the golf course and you see him, in life and he's your friend, because you've practiced in front of him for 20 years, you probably could be a little smart ass like that, can't you, Kevin?
Well, just more familiar. I mean, I had a judge yesterday I was in front of, and I guess I did kind of eke out the whole car thing because I challenged him to a drag race in the middle of court.
Oh, so now, hold on. Not only you now challenging your fellow radio co-host, but now you're challenging judges?
Well, he mentioned
hey, Your Honor, I don't know if you're going to give me a...
Then he saw me on driving into the court, and I said, well, Judge, you want to race? Because he was a car guy. He's like, no,
Kevin, I mean... That's bitching the judge out right away is usually not your style.
He's a good guy.
It's usually not Kevin Hazlett's style. What's this? This car has turned you into this car has turned you into a real prick.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
I used to be a nice guy. Now you got a fast
go back to the
car.
Ford.
I turn into Dan.
We need to do a parody song.
No.
Kevin's got a fast car.
I know.
He used to be cool, but now he's a dick.
There you go.
He's got the Rivian.
He got the Rivian.
I gotta go get my gold chain.
Now he tries to challenge judges.
Yeah.
Man, has Missy stepped in yet? And said, "Honey, I love you to death."
Trust me, she takes me down like 5 notches every day.
I love.
That's her job.
Honey, I love you to death, but I didn't marry this man.
Exactly.
Who wants to drag race guys? And,
she always. I get to a stoplight. And she's like, "What are you doing?"
What?
She goes, "Are you 15 years old?"
And you're like, "Yeah, I am."
Even your wife who's telling you to kind of tone it down, you still do the fast launch off the pad, don't you, buddy?
Exactly.
Can't help it. There's still a lot of testosterone running through Kevin
Got
Hazlett,
my parachute
friend.
pants on. Yeah.
Maybe, Dan. I mean, maybe Kevin, we should consider this like a therapy kind of deal, and in that you didn't have to go to the doctor to kind of reinvent your testosterone. You just needed a fast car, to get your testosterone.
It's all false,
going.
by the way. Yeah, smoke and mirrors.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, Bubba. I had an F, Mary, kill for Anna. Dan Diaco, Kevin Hazlett, and Bubba.
Oh, you know what?
F, Mary, kill. Who is this? Brian from Philly?
Thank you. I got to go. Although I really wouldn't like to put Kevin in that kind of sexual light. That is an interesting question. It was asked to you, not Kevin. But I mean, it is an interesting. It is. It's
an interesting question. We can leave it at that. Let's move on.
No. Hold on. It's a fun question. I have to go into commercials, but it's a fun question in life.
Yeah.
Because nobody takes it seriously.
Right.
It's not offensive. Well, it could hurt. I don't know. It's just funny. Even the most conservative guys like Kevin Hazlett even thinks probably F, Marry, Kill is kind of cool. Kevin Hazlett, Bubba Clem, Dan Diaco, F, Marry, Kill. Before we go into the commercials, Kevin says it's okay to answer correctly. He's not mad at you, no matter what you choose. Nobody's feelings will be hurt.
You sure?
Nobody. No. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Probably F Dan, marry Kevin, and kill you.
Boom.
Ouch.
Boom.
It takes a lot of energy to be this stupid. Bubba the Love Sponge.
She says it as she scurries out of the room.
Yes, exactly.
All right, we're gonna go into the RFK.
RFK.
Dan, we're gonna go into the RFK.
Kevin.
Kevin, we're gonna go to the RFK deal.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it. No.
Really attacking him.
They're attacking him.
They censored him out of censorship.
Isn't that ironic? They censored him at a censorship hearing.
The Republicans invited him, and then they just not the Republicans, the Democrats
invited him,
and then they kept taking his time away. They're like, "You can stop talking, take his time away." Like they'd ask him a question, or they laid a statement out with a question,
right?
And they wouldn't let him answer the question,
right?
It's like
I'm gonna open up. I'll play the story, Kevin, so you'll be up to speed on it.
Gotcha.
I'd just be interesting to hear your opinion on it, and just how scary of a time that we live in. Like just politically, it's just.
What's his name in California jumped in the race?
Oh, Gavin Newsom.
Yes.
Has he?
Yeah, I think he's jumping in the race. See if you see that.
But I think the Jesse Waters one will set up the story a little bit better than the New York Post one. I think the New York Post just has him talking.
All right, so this right here.
Yes.
Just play this.
Yeah, it should set it up better than the New York Post one.
All right.
Yeah, I think by the time we get around to the election, that Trump and Biden will not be candidates.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Yeah, they're saying that people are saying that he wants to run now.
Mm-hmm. I think he smells a little blood in the water. The problem is, you've got a finite number of time window to do it when you've got some popularity.
Macho Man wants to race you too in his Mustang or whatever it is.
His Mustang?
Yeah.
I think I'm good for the first 100 yards, no matter what race.
Dan. Kevin, you being a drag racer just really blows my mind. I mean, I don't know if I respect you more or maybe a little bit less.
Maybe less, and that's okay.
I mean,
I had to call Lasker.
You're a full blown Gene Lasker now, wanting to race people.
Well, I had to call Lasker this week because I'm pimping out my F-150.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm getting a lift kit put on it and some other stuff
and some wheels
and some wheels. Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Man, I mean,
maybe it's some sort of midlife crisis.
You used to be Kevin Stock Willie. Now
it's coming.
Now you're Kevin Aftermarket Jones.
I don't know what's happening here.
I don't know. It's a midlife crisis,
It
Kevin.
clearly is. Clearly is.
Kevin, you're suffering a midlife crisis.
But that's how I act out. I'm okay with that.
If only wanting to have cool cars is the only thing that you do as you're part of your midlife crisis, you got her handled, buddy.
I think I'm okay.
I think so.
That's it.
I think so. All right, so the Jesse Waters. Who's on the phone? I don't necessarily want to know if I want phone calls today.
This looks really good back here, by the way.
Aren't things looking better?
It really is. It really looks good. Who did the screens for you?
We just did Amazon TVs with special mounting deals.
And can you get them all to do like that?
Yeah, well, you get Macho Man. Bought it's like a $230 controller that syncs them all up, and we can also run like messages through them. Like if you look up top, that'll all have different kind of messages. But we usually just keep this one down here. That's on the stage, Bubba Army Radio, but we can change it too. We can make it start doing shit. We can make the one on the desks, do shit. Then we got the one behind me, which is a big 86-incher, and it flashes pictures of either me or listeners, or like Tyler, or just different pictures. And we encourage people to send us pictures of them and their bumper stickers and things like that.
Right.
And then usually that TV is the feed, to whatever I'm talking about.
But this is so. I'm thinking about.
And then we're getting 2 more 40-inch TV in that corner.
Right.
Well, first of all, we're getting fabric to go over the window, and we're going to shoot red uplighting through it to give it kind of a cool thing. The same banner that's on that side right there is going to be on that one too, but mounted professionally. And then in the corner is going to be 2 40-inch TVs that run long ways. They run long ways, and it'll be synced up with everything in here too.
Well, the technology's gotten so inexpensive.
But the studio the way it looks now on camera, and just the way it doesn't look like just 5 guys talking at a radio table. There looks like there's some shit going on. It's like there's some shit going on.
I agree.
And we have plans. Like we're making a podcast. We're taking that table out, and I'm making a podcast studio set. That's gonna have a 4-person table with LEDs wrapped around the table, and then use the Bubba Army as the backdrop.
I like that.
For a podcast feel. This will be kind of when we do radio, it'll be in this world. And if we do podcasting, we'll do
over there.
Let's get down to business.
If you were locked away in an insane asylum,
maybe it's time you let me get on with my job.
This is what it would sound like.
I don't think that Americans would find that funny.
No, it is not a joke.
Now return to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Kevin Hazlett joins us today. Kevin been on my show since. Well, Dan and I were talking about it earlier today. I think like 2000.
2000, exactly right.
And how, I don't know if you know, but my lawyer segments that I have, that I started back in the 98 rock days, have now been ripped off by every rock station in America. Every rock station in America has like an Ask the Fred segment once a month, where the guy comes in and acts like he's the station lawyer, and he's the guy, and he's the lawyer to the radio lawyer that you hear, and that not only has that been ripped off here locally,
nationally,
but it's been, iHeart will take it to every one of their markets as a sales piece. And go Kevin, listen to this. They go to these local attorneys and they say, hey, do you want to be the radio attorney guy that comes in, every Thursday at 8 o'clock from 8 until 9?
For Ask the Tom?
For Ask the Tom. There you go. Ask the Tom. And they have a whole, these radio stations have these whole packets
these marketing materials that they go to law firms with.
What if the guy sucks or the girl sucks?
Well, I mean, they don't care. I mean, literally, wait till you hear what they're selling those packages for $100,000.
Jeez.
$100,000 for you to be the lawyer, the station lawyer that comes in once a week and you ask the Tom.
Bobby Williams, 25 on the Venmo.
Yeah. Kevin, never did we ever do it.
No.
I don't think, Kevin, I think they at one time at Cox, when I first went over to Cox and they're paying me the big money, they didn't know that I did all those segments for free. Like these were my friends. Kevin, I never said, Kevin, don't forget, next Thursday I'll see you at 2,500. I need 20.
Drop the paper bag in the truck.
20. Yeah, exactly. That's how it's going to be able to get your name out 100 times. Everything. Make you the it guy. Well, they're selling those packages for $100,000, and I can remember when I went to Cox in 2008. They're like, hey, with regards to your specialty segments, Dr. Mark, Kevin, the Diacos, Gina, this just the ones that I had.
Right.
We want to start charging them $2,500 a week. I go, I'm telling you right now, don't you dare. I remember Tom Bean was with me. I was telling Jay O'Connor when we were cutting this deal. I go, don't you? Well, I said, well, first of all, how much were you thinking about charging them? He's like, this is like 2008 money. Like, $2,500, like a 10 grand a month package.
Jeez.
And I go, first of all, that's absurd. Secondly, don't you dare pick up the phone and start shaking my friends that have been with me, through thick and through thin. You're going to start gouging them now. And I've had them on the air to give good advice for people. Really, really helped out a lot of people from the, just all the amount of pro bono work you guys have done and free information that people have gotten over the air. I'm not going to have them ding you being, oh my God, no. But I was the last radio personality that they allowed to do it for, like the way I did it, for free. From everybody thereafter, Kevin, they all got charged because the station.
Really?
Well, because the station took it over.
That's right.
The station. It wasn't
They managed it.
It wasn't ever the talent wanted it deal. It was a station managed it, and it was, guess what, morning guy, on Thursdays you're going to have this lawyer on whether you like it or not, because
you don't get to pick them.
Right. That's what it turned into, and that's what it's turned into nationally. What we do and did. It's pretty revolutionary, is it not? What we've done and came. We were just talking about, during the hot mic segment, how much better the studio looks.
It looks great,
and how much better it looks on air, and how we're making all types of video changes so that the on air product looks. Not just like four people sitting in a stupid warehouse, like it looks like a little Hollywood to it.
It really looks good.
And we got more things to even, we've accomplished a lot, and we got a lot of things that we're planning. And before we went on the air, Kevin, I sat to myself and I said, Kevin was one of the guys that I would call when I was at my absolute lowest. You, Tom Bean, Fabrizi, the Diacos, Jimmy Clevis, those were my boys that I call. Larry Plummer, Sumo, Denzel. When I was at my all-time lowest, and you were one of the guys that I was talking to, and you're like, Bubba, you just got to keep grinding. You just got to keep grinding. This digital world, you now have to embrace this digital world, and you're going to have to do this, and you might have to hire this, and you're going to have to try to do this, and this. And I can remember so many times saying, like, oh, my God, Kevin, I don't know if I can. I'm living in the back of a trailer now behind the studios. But I still come in here every day trying to do a show, and I think we're catching on now. And, I hope I can make rent, and, And now, Kevin, we're talking about, these alterations we've made in the studio and how good it looks. And I mean, it's a far different feel, better, more positive feel. Look how far we've come just in the digital world, right?
The irony is, in your attempt to get back on terrestrial radio and being in the world of digital, you actually were a pioneer by mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the accidental digital pioneer, but you didn't want to be.
I told
you didn't want to be. You didn't want to take that road.
It might have
but
been,
you were forced to do it.
It might have been 2 years ago, and Tom Bean and everybody I talk to, they have to hear the same stuff. They do. They all hear the same stuff. And 3 years ago, 2 years ago, it was like, man, I really got another score to settle. I'd love to get back on a major sexy FM in Tampa and really just be able to come back and do it my way, and we would be number one. And hell, even to this very day, I feel that same way. But the only person to really kind of call me out at one time was Kevin.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've been telling this story to everybody. And one day I'm talking to Kevin. I go, Kevin, God, if I could just get Beasley to pick me up, put me over there, and not he's, man, if I just. Kevin goes, Bubba, can I tell you something? I go, what, Kevin? He goes, you're so stupid. You've already figured this out. Every radio station that you spoke about where you'd like to go to, their radio personalities are trying to figure out what you've already figured out. They are on the regular antiquated FM radio with one signal and one show and no traction digitally at all. Mm-hmm. And they don't own their own rights. They don't have their own facilities, and they aren't able to make a living digitally. You can, and you're trying to go back over there. You idiot. See, I don't want to hear about it. Would you realize
Can
what
I say that to you?
No. Can you realize what you and this is what he said to me. You reverse engineered it, and you didn't even know you reverse engineered it. I go, Kevin, you're right.
I'm a genius.
You got it down.
Oh, Kevin, her impersonations of me are quite frankly scary.
She's got it down.
Dead on.
No, like they she doesn't know, but she's she's so in my head when we'll be doing something and then she'll turn into me. It's just she's dead on. She's probably what I'm saying is either what I'm thinking or it would have spurted out of my mouth. I don't know if it would have been nearly as jowly as she makes it, but she's in
jowly.
She makes it real jowly. I mean, her Bubba. I'm like Anna. I'm not that I'm telling you to bust into a Bubba impersonation, but it's not. It's way over the top.
I don't think so. Pretty accurate to me.
Yeah, tell me, impersonate me more there, co-host.
But Bubba, the point is this. I think all of us, and we're all guilty of this, which is, when we're in the moment of time, we like to take the position that, this is bad, our career's going the wrong way, there's no opportunities, but there's like 1,000 opportunities today, right now in this moment. It's our ability to recognize that they're there and what they are. You trying so hard to go to, analog, old-fashioned radio, didn't realize in the moment that you needed to kind of really lean into what you were already doing, and that you had already surpassed what you needed to do. And you need to recognize how that's like sitting there, when Tesla stock's at $3 and kind of go, I think this is a cool idea, not realizing that that's a very, very cool thing. And you're trying to see what the future is going to look like. You and I both know what the future is going to look like. It's not going to be old-fashioned FM radio. It just isn't.
And the future is going to look like even something that we necessarily haven't seen yet, but being establishing what we are establishing, YouTube, every other streaming source, we are so far ahead of the game. Although the number's not, staggering like by Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan deals, locally, if you're talking about locally, it's by far the biggest, and globally, it's enough to pay the bills.
Well, you got to figure out how to incorporate.
Nobody. I mean, if you can pay the bills digitally, I as a radio personality, I think you're way ahead of the game.
Next, you got to tell me how you lean in and put AI into this to leverage to make it bigger.
I've tried. You know what? We can't have that conversation because you know why? You know why we can't have that conversation?
I know why.
Because I've worn Lummy and Rhett out with it. I've worn them out.
I didn't know you had.
Yeah, I've worn them out.
Rhett and Macho are working on it.
Yeah, I've worn the ideas. I have to speak to you off camera, like even not in a hot mic deal.
People are listening.
That I want to go
Anna's
AI.
Gonna steal it.
I want to go AI. Oh, yeah, Anna steal
He'll
it.
replace me with a robot in 5 seconds.
But it's not just that's what I'm talking about. But you've got to understand right now in the moment what are the next areas that's going to explode. How do you leverage that? How do you get into it? How do you be the forefront of it? How do you take your show and take it globally? How do you take it? How do you change the language? How do you there's a lot of things you got to think about. And how do you increase your?
And I thought we were doing good.
No, but you are doing good.
Until I heard Kevin tell me what we still got to do.
No. but look, you can do so much more.
I know, but I only got 6 people.
Well, that's not true. You can get some more people, and I'll tell you how. Off air, I got a great idea. I don't want to talk about it on,
all right,
which I'm leaning into heavily.
Oh, so like it'll be something that you're behind. Oh, I'm in probably. Should be. I should have always followed your advice.
Yeah.
Well,
back when I was back in '98 Rock. Back in '98 Rock. I mean, I got like an extra $300,000-$400,000 that I could easily be saving or investing or putting into somewhere if I didn't have to live the way I thought I had to live. And Kevin would remind me every 6 months.
And I'm not doing it negatively. So I'm sitting last night. My youngest Duncan Pumpkin's getting ready to go to Fort Benning this morning. I'm going to after I leave here. I'm going to see him off, and he's going to drive up there to be a tank commander. And I'm sitting last night, and we're up to about 2 o'clock talking, and so my middle son's on his 7th house, and he's buying
meaning owning.
Yeah.
Owning.
So Duncan's trying
not on his. See, in my world, if somebody said Bubba was on his 7th house, I got kicked out of the first 6. As a renter.
No, but he's trying to figure out how to do it. And
in your world, you're talking about the amount of houses that your sons actually own.
Yeah, but
right.
Yeah, but it's just the same thing that we talked about Kevin's Law, how to do it for years and how to get it done.
Right, and they did small, it, and we didn't. But go ahead.
But Duncan last night, bless his heart, goes, why don't you? Did you ever share that information with Bubba?
Oh,
I'm like, he's like, could you tell me just like, and he because remember he was young at the time.
Oh, but he's grown up listening to the show.
Yeah, but I mean he was young at the time. He's like, Dad, did you not ever share that information?
Because Missy would let them listen to the show because they knew Missy always knew we weren't going to be,
Yes.
So they grew up listening to the show. When they were getting taken to school.
That's true.
When their dad was on the air, Missy cranked it up because we weren't going to get into anything, that they couldn't hear.
Yeah, except sometimes you embarrassed her in front of her country club tennis friends.
Well, because I'd say hey little kids, you wouldn't realize how hot the mom that's driving you to work right now is hot as hell. But Kevin, look at me.
But here's he goes. Listen, at his apex, financially, how was Bubba doing? I said he was doing really, really, really well. And he goes, well, did you not tell him to invest in real estate?
Do you want to do a reenactment?
No. I can't do a reenactment because we've worn this out.
I thought Punkin had my back. I thought Duncan Punkin had my back.
But he was.
Kevin, I'm going to be rich forever.
Yeah, but he's. Like,
I would say that. I would say that.
Kevin, I need a plane.
But he's like,
Bubba, I don't think you should buy a plane. They appreciate it quickly.
I need a plane.
Bubba,
Shut up, Kevin. You don't know what they're talking about.
So listen, Bubba, what you should do is maybe get not quite the plane that you want and take the other half of the money and put it into real estate, okay?
No, I need more gold chains.
No. See, Bubba, you're buying stuff.
I need more Louis Vuitton bags for people that don't even exist.
But Bubba, see, none of that.
Then I get on pills and I order it again.
See, Bubba, no, you can't be doing any of that.
They're like,
okay?
shut up, Kevin. I don't know anything. I'm rich forever.
Shut up, Kevin. You don't know anything. I'm rich forever. I mean, which is probably. I mean,
is that close, Kevin?
Kevin, it's pretty close.
It is, and he's like,
I'm just telling you. And Kevin would even go this far, Anna. You want to hear this?
Yeah.
Kevin would say, because Kevin would know how much money. Kevin would be like, how much do you have liquid right now? And I tell him, he goes, okay, and what's your salary? And I tell him, he goes, okay, well, you can put X amount of your liquid stuff that you have down, go get a loan through my banker at at that point it was like, honest to God, I'm not kidding you, 3.4%. So, I mean, the rates, Kevin, back in the day when you were talking to me about this were just, what were they? Like, they were 3 and 4%, weren't they?
Depends where we were. But I mean, I offered to help you buy it. I said, I'll do it for you. Here,
what?
And so hold on,
I'll walk you through it.
He even said, listen, all I need, I'll even help you buy
Kevin,
your first one.
I don't like walking.
He even said, you know what, Bubba, I'll tell you what, we'll go as partners on the first one, just for you to understand.
Then you know what to do.
No, Kevin, you don't understand.
So he goes, but I need $40,000. Kevin, you think I'm going to give you $40,000?
Which was really nothing.
In
the scheme of things.
Which, honest to God, Anna, my checks, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you. The checks that I would get from, and I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to brag, but I get
Go ahead and flex on it.
For 2 years.
Yep.
Flex away.
For 2 years, I would get 83,000 from Sirius,
Mm-hmm.
and I would get 247,000 from Cox. Based on I was getting like 600 grand out of Orlando, like 450 for Jacksonville, $1.1 million for Tampa. 500,000 for Orlando. So I think their paycheck was like 250,000 a month, and I was making 83,000 a month from Sirius because that's $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of money I was making.
Oh, I know.
And I got Tom Bean telling me to slow down, and Kevin Hazlett Dan's telling me to just floor it.
Yeah, of course.
In fact, guess who my partner in my plane was? Dan. And Kevin's like, Bubba, listen. Just give me a little, just one. Kevin, shut up. Let me tell you something. I'm going to be able to make this kind of money. Unless I have throat cancer, I wouldn't worry about it. Okay? I got plenty of time. Start buying these stupid houses you want me to start buying. How many you got? Well, Bubba, I'm just going to tell you, I got like 60. Well, 60? How do you do 60? Well, Bubba, you hire a management company, and you don't do anything. You don't have to worry about anything, okay? You hire a management company. They pay them percentage. Everything pays for yourself. And by next thing you know, you own 10 houses. Next thing you know, you're putting, $14, $15, $18, $19, $2,600 extra cash in your pocket, along with building equity in these homes. And in 15 years, you'll own them. And then when you're finally done with radio when you're 60, you'll have 30, 40 homes that are generating $40,000 a month income that you own outright, that if you really want to, that house that you bought for $165 right now that's worth $450, you sell it. And you got $350 large right there after the house has been paid for 15 years. Shut up, Kevin. Jeez, that sounds like a lot of work to me. Houses, hiring some companies, got guys over here painting stuff, whatever. Hey, Kevin, can you work on this ticket I got? I got a ticket on Omerton, I don't know, it's like a red light deal here. Can I send it over to your office? Yeah, just send it over to the office. We'll get it taken care of. So, I won't have to worry about it or nothing ever again. Nope. So, Kevin, you're going to try and tell me you're going to mail off the check and everything? Yes, Bubba, that's what we do. Okay, just send me the ticket. Kevin, is that not almost cringingly how it went?
It really is, and I probably should have pushed. I pushed as hard as I could. I couldn't push any harder.
Didn't you give the same advice to Ron Diaz?
I gave the exact same.
And Ron kills it. Ron told Ron.
He's listening to you in the gym right now.
Ron right now is like, bitch, Bubba, you go ahead and keep being on the radio and act like a little bitch. I'm over here pumping up my biceps because I own 26 houses because I listened to Kevin.
He's doing great.
And you didn't.
He's doing great.
Yeah. Right.
But so let me
by the way, I want you to know we've used that analogy before, and I've never said about screw him.
No, of course not.
I've always been like, yep, that guy listened because he's smart. First of all, I always loved Ron Diaz, but I was like, yeah, you go, Ron. God dang it, you go, buddy. And you know what? Ron was cool as hell too. When I used to work with him,
and he still is. He's awesome.
Do you tell him I say hi?
I do, and I did, and he was really helpful during my campaign, supported me. He's just a great guy.
I'd love to have lunch with him one of these days.
You need to bring him on air one day.
Or better yet, oh my God.
You know what? That would be gold.
Better. Yeah. Will you put us together?
I will put you together.
Yeah, oh my God, I'd love to meet him. But hold on, I'd almost be like, Kevin, I'm going to be
chills thinking about it.
No, but I almost got I feel like
he's a legend.
I feel like I can't ask. I feel like he might think that's my ulterior motive.
No, there's no angle. Just love. Just talk about radio and Tampa and stuff.
All right, so I would want him to know I am so honored that I hold him in such the highest regard of what I do for a living in the city that I do it and the legend that he is and was. The greatest of all time and one of the greatest of all time in this particular market. I really respect and look up to him, and I would want him to know that I would, I don't want you to think I'm using you because that's how much I regard, oh my God.
But it would really be like two old wrestlers. I don't mean old in a negative way, talking about the old days. You know what I mean?
Do you think that Ron and I could really maybe hold on, now with you and I have a certain understanding as to what you feel comfortable about talking.
Right.
I mean, over the years, Gina the same way. Gina doesn't want to talk. Gina and you kind of have the same thing. Like we don't want to talk about the girl with the largest boobs, that can, shoot, M&Ms 300 miles an hour. We don't want to talk about that. And, and Dan wants to talk about anything, mostly himself. Brian, you can talk about anything, and he'll piss everybody off.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I'm a basket case on how to handle each one. But, Kevin, there's things that we can talk about. You and I can. I think with Ron, I could really talk about some of the shady groupie stuff that I encountered that he may have encountered, and I wonder if he could talk about that.
It just would be good. I think it's probably actually a better podcast. To be honest with you, I think it's a good podcast because I think.
No, here's where you're missing it.
Okay, go ahead.
You make it just a podcast, but you do videotape it,
right?
So that you do have it, so that you drop that then 6 months later. After you're like, listen, we'll eventually drop the video portion of this, but we're going to just start it off as a podcast.
Yeah, that's your bailiwick.
That way you don't lose it.
Yes.
But oh my God, the stories that him and I could talk about.
There's some great stuff.
And I'm almost thinking like one click larger, Kevin, and that is there any there? I'm trying to think of people that are on me and Ron's level, and I don't think there is any. Yeah, meaning Jack Harris.
Jack Harris just came to mind.
Yeah, I'm talking about the stuff we're going to talk about.
That's different.
Jack Harris was a news talk guy. Ron and I were a male skewing shock. You know.
I do.
Bikinis and beers and spring breakers and go crazy. That's us. And then Jack Harris is more of the, so I don't think that I could have Jack. I think it could I think the only two guys, if you're going to talk about that particular topic of Tampa Bay, the only two people you can have on are him and I. Him and I are the only two that really did it. Really? Right? Did it to a level, on a national level that people knew about.
I agree. But I'm saying on a different tangent, whether it's live or in a podcast, the Jack Harris would be interesting because you're a different audience with Jack than you are.
I would have to do two completely different shows.
I know that. I'm saying not at the same time, but I'm saying, and of course, now I'm going to go real nostalgic
Mason.
on you. You read my mind. You read my mind.
You get Mason.
Exactly.
And I mean,
Bodine, I can play this guitar.
I mean, listen to this. You put Ron Diaz in Lummy's chair.
Yes.
You put Jack Harris in your chair.
Yes.
And you put Mason Dixon in your chair. And Anna's chair.
That's hilarious.
And you have a 4-tile Willie like you have now.
Yes.
Me on the however, and you right now have the absolute Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
And you actually call it the Mount Rushmore of Tampa podcast.
I love it.
Because realistically, even if you don't like what I do with what Mason does, because he's more of a music guy, would you not agree, Kevin? Even though you know all of us, that you being a guy that was born and raised in this city, that is absolutely, without a doubt, the 4 greatest personalities ever to be in Tampa, Florida.
Certainly touched so many lives. Absolutely. That'd be great. I think it'd be good radio. Or a good podcast. What do we call it now?
Bubba the Love Sponge, Ron Diaz, Mason Dixon, and Jack Harris. You could throw Ted in there if he was still alive. By far, that is those are undisputable, the most 4 popular all-time greatest of Tampa, Florida.
That created a huge media buzz, by the way.
I need to get a hold of them.
You're welcome. Listen,
you're welcome on that one too.
I want
he comes up with stuff all. No, you're not. See, you've never been that
guy. Let me say 10%.
You know that
Anna, we get 10% of this deal.
Oh yeah.
We put together this on tier number 2 over here.
Shut up.
We're in the lower tier.
You've never been that guy.
I know, but I think it's good stuff.
You've never. I don't think I've ever gotten a bill from you.
No, you never have.
Ever. Anna, do you know how cool it is to have all these really popular people and never get a bill from? Just think about it.
No.
I never get a bill from Dan Diaco. I mean, I go in there and get Botox and Morpheus. No bill.
He pays
Kevin's, I'm always wearing Kevin out on some kind of legal deal.
I know.
Never a bill. I literally walk into Kevin's office. There's a woman that says, let me take you right to Kevin's office. And then Kevin has like a little waiting room. Like Kevin never makes me like wait out there in General Pop. No way.
Gen Pop.
He tells the secretaries, watch for Bubba, treat him like a star, ask him what he wants, and bring him to me immediately. Like when I go to Dr. Dan McSherry's office, same thing, Anna. I don't what they know I'm coming. I walk right in there. It's cool. It's cool having those kind of friends.
Oh, I know.
I'm so fortunate.
You're lucky.
So anyway, Kevin, I really, really appreciate you, my friend. And I really, really appreciate all the advice you've given me over the years. And I really, really do wish I would have listened. But I am listening now.
So let's talk about...
Because you and I do talk about stuff a lot and what I'm doing monetizing wise and things like that. Because you're one of my senseis. You're one of my senseis. And I think we're doing pretty good nowadays.
You're doing great.
I think we're doing pretty good. When we come back, we're actually going to start peeling back kind of the political stuff a little bit with Kevin. Now we've done all the ass kissing and the changeover and all that kind of deal.
Came up with Kevin's 10% on his great ideas.
Kevin's never been a 10% guy. Kevin would laugh at my 10%. You know what Kevin would do, that son of a bitch? Kevin would take my 10% and invest it into one of his 7,000 properties and then say, see? I just fippled your money for the 10%, and now you own like 10 homes there, buddy.
There you go. Now you're on track.
That's how you. I should have You know what? I should have hanged out more with Kevin and less with Dan.
Uncensored, unfiltered, unfettered.
Thanks for the info.
Uncensored, unfiltered, and unfettered. It's Bubba the Love Sponge.
Dutch Duke.
Yes, it is.
Here, Kevin, I got something to give you.
All right. You need to look at real estate in El Paso, Texas.
Does that come from Pumpkin Duncan?
Now you're having to get out of.
Come here, Kevin. Don't be telling all the free. Don't give.
Well, I'm just telling you.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people.
Immigrants?
No, they overbuilt.
Come on,
you can
over
buy
here.
it below.
Stop giving all this great advice out to people. I'm starting to start hogging up your advice. I do not want other people hearing your.
It's a piece of shit.
What? Last time I was there was 2009.
And it was a shithole.
Now just
Maybe
imagine
it's better now.
The last year and a half of immigrants, illegal immigrants coming over.
Legal or illegal?
Illegal. Camping out on the sidewalks.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Thank you, Uncle Eric. $20.
Let me grab because that's my keys to my phone.
Uncle Eric, 20. Cash out. I thought you were right.
I don't need to drive Rod when you're done.
Okay. For real.
Did you bring a helmet?
No.
We'll go slow.
Okay. That's cool. Key again, because I got issues.
Baby, you can't fault. Well, those would be their doggone. There need places to live. There's a lot of them. Let's go. Let's see.
Super Bowls. Salon.
Is it Rob Green? See what you get.
What you know about?
Already. What's up, Brian from Philly? Parker Chris. Thank you, Bobby Williams.
You probably have your 50-mile bubble.
That's about it.
Right?
That's about it.
Probably the furthest that you travel is Hillsborough County Courthouse. Am I probably right?
Yes, you're probably right. I'm trying to think how far I would go. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you go to Polk.
No. No.
You know.
No. No.
I mean, you're primarily probably 70-30 Pinellas to Hillsborough.
Yes.
And yeah.
Maybe 90-10 even.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It depends.
So the boys at the courthouse on 49th, they really know who the hell you are.
Well, it depends, because I don't go out there as much as I do. I do about 25% of what I used to do. So I'm not out there that much.
Which one? I've never been in. I've never been in a courthouse over there. I've always been over
nice.
Here. Are they nice?
They're a lot nicer. They're newer.
They are?
They're newer. They're really nice.
I think it's pretty good too. Me saying I've never been to a court, because usually I'm familiar with all of them.
That's good news for you.
That's right. Kevin, do you know any other clients that ever been on trial 4 times?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
We are the only show that can talk about nothing.
The use of all Bubba-isms is prohibited without the express written consent of Bubba the Love Sponge.
This is not staged. It's not nothing. It's very scientific.
He's not in an killing mood.
Right.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Kevin Hazlett here. We've been doing it since about 2000. We need to bring back Kevin's Law. Please do. Now, Kevin, if you were to predict, Kevin, when you could start doing maybe, and let's just start it at once a month. You guys used to do more, but
we did it every Tuesday.
Yeah, so
by clockwork.
Sure. Well, I mean, we're just now clamoring for a once a month commitment. Do you think we could do that?
I do.
Okay, like starting like August.
I think.
September,
probably September. We're supposed to. I'm out most of August.
All right, so maybe
mid-September. Second week of September.
That'd be good.
That would
Let me
be
get on with you.
Yeah,
and
because I want to send it around your schedule.
Yeah, I'm in Denver the first week, but the second week I'll be around.
Perfect.
So, because people want it, and quite frankly, Kevin, you need it. You really do.
That's how you're selling it.
Just like
you want it and they need it.
Unlike me to you, I never listen to you, and I should. And very rarely do we have a me to you, like where I'm telling you something, and you should, like I'm never. We just don't have that type of relationship.
Correct.
And you don't need any of my knowledge for anything you're doing.
That's not true. I think you listened to it a couple times, didn't you?
No, whatever. What I'm saying is, for the most part, it's like 99-1 with regards to all the information you've told me that I should listen to, and versus all the information I've told you that you should have listened to.
Probably.
But I am telling you this as a friend, because I mean, am I not one of your very good friends? Like, we've known each other for a long time, and we're good friends.
Yes.
All right. So, And I very rarely very rarely are we in this position where I need to tell you something and you need to listen.
I'm listening, all ears.
All right. And I do know your wife.
You
and
do?
I know, and so I just know a lot about you. I know how I just know you. I really do. And I'm thinking that a once a month Kevin's Law would really, really help your life.
This is like a prescription. Thanks, doctor.
I think that's just kind of really.
It's like a mental health thing.
Yes, more so than you know.
I thank you. This is exactly what I needed to hear.
And so, okay,
I agree.
And don't get mad at me for as a friend stepping in that I think that you need to do a once a month show to be able to release some of this stuff that you can't release out in regular life and have an audience that wants to listen to you spew that nonsense.
For me to argue back and forth with Anna?
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
Sounds
and
fun
there's
to
actually,
me.
oddly enough, as crazy as it is there's an audience for that.
Insane.
And that's even crazier than what we're trying to do.
It's hard to believe.
All right, so
yes, we will do it.
In September, we'll start.
Yes.
Kevin's Law, at least, just so we know the agreement, okay?
At least once a month.
Just so we know the agreement and we're crystal clear.
Crystal.
That Kevin's Law will resume on a once a month basis.
At least.
Starting in mid-September.
Yes.
With options to do more.
To buy a second season.
Right. Perfect. Thank you.
That's all it took.
Thank you.
Because I really, really, really enjoy doing it. That's not the problem. It's just trying to figure out.
It's her.
What?
Anna has been let's just bring it to the forefront.
All right. So can we just talk about the 800-pound? Can we talk about the 800-pound elephant?
We absolutely can.
You're calling me an 800-pound elephant?
No, it's a metaphor.
Oh.
Yes.
Meaning, like, it's kind of the obvious thing that everybody knows that
she didn't want to do it again, and I understand that she was tense about not being in the same room with me because our political views and our views of the world
aren't aligned.
So is it you, Anna, that's been calling?
I've been calling her trying to do it again, and she said no. So I think you're asking the wrong person.
Admit
See,
thank you. That is true.
Thank you.
He's been asking, and I said no. I have to get choked out by a preteen. Jiu-jitsu.
No, I got to get choked out by a preteen at jiu-jitsu.
I got to lower my self-esteem some more.
Sorry, Kevin.
I can't make it.
I can't be a co-host of your fancy show. I want to get choked out by a preteen on South Waters.
Yep.
Yippee-yo.
That's what she's doing Tuesday nights?
Yeah.
So, Anna, are you good with the new agreement? I'm not telling you. I'm telling you you're good. As your boss,
wow.
You better do it.
Wow.
I'm ready for it.
I do think that it's therapeutic for you too.
I think it is.
And I think that both of you
everyone really likes
I know that Kevin's Law. I know that it's kind of a pain in the ass to get over here on Tuesdays or on the selective Tuesdays that you choose, but it's kind of like going to the gym. You hate doing it, but afterwards you're like, oh, yeah, that was a great workout, or I feel real good about doing that, or I hate Anna even more.
Right.
I mean, like something like that.
It's a double-edged sword. Triple, really.
It's a triple-edged sword.
It's a triple-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's like a dart.
So, Kev, as we get into this, it was on Fox last night. This was you weren't familiar. I think you've kind of
I've changed. I
think you've
changed focus.
Exactly.
I'm not living in that world.
I think exactly. There you go. You were running against Ana Luna Polina for the representative house, U.S. representative house of Pinellas County. I think was it District 13?
Florida 13, correct.
Florida 13. And we campaigned hard, and she got the big Trump endorsement and the Trump robocall. And,
yes.
And that's what basically won her the election. She's up there. Great. I don't know how she's doing. I don't keep up on it. But I'm sure that you have probably tried to defrag or distance yourself from pop culture, so to speak, outside of your little legal world just because you're so in it while you're campaigning. And you're just it's like you just want to almost just, oh my God, just completely walk away once you've gone through a hard-fought election like you did. And boy, how many things did you learn about how dirty things really can get? Like, you know what? The political world, like as far as running for politics, it's a whole underbelly of cess in itself, is it not?
Well, it's like any industry or any business or any world. Once you know more about it, you don't realize what you didn't know about it. It's like
how slimy it might be.
Well, that's just the way it works. Now, we can call it slimy. We can call it that's the business of politics. But there's a lot that goes into a lot of layers that the average person doesn't understand, and they don't understand what you need to do. What are all the things that need to align
to truly win,
to be successful,
to have even a chance.
And then you've got to be in this position to get in a position to do the things that you want to do. And but listen, I would not have changed one single thing. It was wonderful to go through it. You learn so much. I mean, it'd be no different if a guy was like a superstar on some high school team that goes to Alabama and thinks he's going to start a freshman year.
Right.
I mean, it's not necessarily because you're the best running back. You got to go, okay, well, he's got a relationship with the positions coach. And then you look back underneath it and go, oh, it's not about who's the best player. It's about the person who's connected themselves to get the nod.
A lot of intangibles.
It really, because you think ironically or in your head that the goal should be that in every election that the best person's going to win who's best suited to do the job. And that's just simply not the case.
No, it is so not the case. It's a lot of times a popularity contest or an endorsement contest or a soft pack against you kind of deal.
Of course.
I mean, people don't even realize how dirty, you're doing real well, you're trending up. Next thing you know, man, your opposition gets $1.5 million soft pack deal out of South Carolina.
I wish it was only that much.
Right, but to do a smear campaign to make you look as stupid as you possibly can.
But that's the whole goal. That's the goal, is to do that to the opponent. But again, that has nothing to do with whether they're competent. Doesn't matter whether they can write a bill. Doesn't matter if they understand the ways of the world. But that's all irrelevant. But you always think in your mind, at least I think a lot of smart people do, that if they're that good, that they'll be recognized by everybody else for being that good and that competent. And then when you see someone who's so incompetent, you say, how could that person be successful? It's no different than in the medical world or legal world. There's a lot of doctors and lawyers who are not good practitioners. They're not the best surgeons. They're not the best trial lawyers. They make a lot of money, get a lot of cases because of their persona or their perceived excellence, which is not accurate.
Or you mean how many billboards and how many TV commercials they ran?
Yeah, but I mean
that's kind of the biggest joke in the whole, I think, legal industry, is that every Tom, Dick, and Harry now, the whole big template isn't the way you and your partners did it, where you started out as a small firm and got bigger and bigger and bigger and won bigger and bigger and bigger cases and just became kind of a really big law firm through some huge wins and some, the old school way. Time and quantities of huge wins turns you into a big, well-respected firm. Now you get these guys that are lawyers that have literally never stepped foot in a courtroom.
Correct.
But they get some type of hedge fund or some type of investment, or just 10 guys in Tampa that each throw in $1 million, and they're all going to be guaranteed, 15% return on their deal. And it ends up, who can advertise and buy more billboards and have the sexy card throwing commercials that all they do is settle. They've never gone to a trial. The one trial they went to, they lost in a different county, and their dad was the head lawyer. And they settle, but they are probably some of the most known and got the fanciest billboards, and they're on TV all the time, and it's kind of a joke, isn't it, Kevin? That's what the law industry kind of has turned into as far as advertising, lawyers.
Well, and it goes back to what I said, which is there is a perception of competence, and then there's competence. Like when you go to court, people within the people in the know the people that are the best.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not in the know and you're the general public, you have to rely on either commercials or like social proof, whether that's Google reviews or other things. But you don't, if you want to find the best DJ, if you want to find the best whatever, but you go ask people in that field who've been in the field for 25 years, they will tell you. And I'll tell you, for me, most of my business comes from people who contact lawyers who've been lawyers in the Tampa Bay area for 20 or 30 years. It's all like back channeled. This is the guy to call. And most
because they don't do what this guy needs, and you do. So he'd be like, "Hey, listen, you know what? I don't do that, but I'll tell you who does. A guy named Kevin Hazel over in Clearwater."
But
right. That's kind of how the conversation goes.
It's no different if you're getting plastic surgery,
right,
or you're getting any heart surgery. You go talk to the people in that field, and you go, "What about this guy who does all this heart surgery, and he's really good. He does all these videos. He does things here." And you go, "Well, he's no good. He's great at marketing. He's not good at practicing
He's
medicine."
got great billboards, but the last guy had a heart attack after he left the place.
And it's really hard as the public to kind of sift through that and find who that best fit is.
Oh, it's so bad now.
But that's
the lawyer commercials and the billboards. That's all there is now.
But the problem is, if you're a lawyer and you're doing really good work, it's like winking in the dark. You're doing it, nobody else does. So you've got to do something to promote yourself. But the question is, there's no great metrics to say, hey, this person's promoting himself, this person's promoting himself. Which is the true real lawyer? It's like a game show. You don't really know unless you dig down and do some more due diligence. And that goes back to politics, which is you're trying to extrapolate a candidate, and that person may have said the right things, looked the right way, but they have zero experience. They're not going to be effective at all for you, in D.C., but you don't know that. You're making decisions on sort of an ectoskeleton, not the inside that's going to get stuff done that really changes or has an impact on your life. And we don't have a great way of doing that other than, negative commercials, positive commercials, and money from outside groups.
I mean, it's so dirty too, and all the money, and it's just all the backyard deals, and
you got to understand the system, and you got to understand. Okay, that's what I'm up against, or that's what I'm into.
Now, if you look at the Kennedy thing right now,
I don't know if we can. I think we should probably go.
Well, he's a Democrat. He's a Democrat.
I know
right?
that.
Yes.
Well, I was gonna say he's a Democrat, and you always say like, why doesn't the Democratic Party want to have him go against Biden? 102 of the sitting House Democrats voted against him even being in this right now. This testimony, like they don't want his voice out there.
So no one really wants his voice out there.
Yeah, he's not in that little clique.
Right.
They hate him so much.
Thank you for the setup on our next bit, but we're running late. But we will open up with that, I promise. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Oh, come on, you stupid ass piece of.
Bubba the Love Sponge lives because a dirty mind is a terrible thing to waste. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Hey, John, how are you? Good.
John, I'm on the phone.
I gotta do hierarchy. I missed just PayPal.
Which way?
All right.
A couple of houses. Which one?
Thank you, Uncle Eric. And 20.
I'll do it.
Oh, great. Yeah. Someone's home right now. Yes. Thanks, Mike. I've got people, Bubba, you there?
Yeah.
I get all these people texting, I'm glad you're back. What's going on? I got like 30 texts.
Well, we need to do a month. We need to at least do once a month here, at least, and then your Kevin's Law.
Yes.
We kind of need to do that.
We need to get back in rotation. Everybody's like, I'm just getting inundated with texts.
But it probably took a certain amount of time for you to be able to get.
Yeah. You're 100% right.
You were a shell of your performance.
Oh, had gone crazy.
Have you been down to Boca?
I went down to Boca. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Do you have a place in Boca, Kevin?
No, I don't. I mean,
do you stay at the same place?
I move around a lot. I mean, the problem is, for years, when we could stay down there and I could rent really inexpensively, and I get a place for 2 months down there.
Right.
And I was literally paying like $60 a night for like a house. But remember, that was from like 2005 when things were really bad.
Yeah.
For about 10 years, I could rent super cheap.
Well, people bought a house down there. And
they did. But it was like, and then like this year, now to the point where it's like $700 a night.
What?
Yes, to rent a place.
Are you serious?
Yes.
How much?
$700 a night.
Wow, for like a bed, like a Airbnb.
Airbnb, yeah, something. I need something
nice,
like 4 bedrooms on the water.
Sure.
But that's crazy. That's a lot. I think it's a lot. So it's hard for me to go down there for a month.
Yeah.
Because that's like
back in the day, you could, no problem.
I did. I went down there. I'd get a place for 2 months, and it'd cost me like
$4,000.
Yeah, it'd be less than that. I paid like $3,000 for 2 months.
Right.
But like now I'm like, I can't justify paying whatever that's going to be, $20,000 for a month. Although there are people, friends of mine, that will get a house on the water with a pool, pay $25,000 for a month.
How much?
$25K for a month. But remember, this is a place with 2 boat lifts.
Okay.
It's an infinity pool. It's got an ice maker. They bring their families down, 5 bedrooms in a great location. And it's, but hold on, that's a $7 million house.
Right.
And the prices are so inflated there. I mean, you look at a house that is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house, downtown Boca Grande. Here in
Love
South
yourself.
Tampa, like $1 million,
Get up and
$8
dance.
or $2 million. There it's $4 million. I mean, it's just.
I think that's where Tucker's living now.
Yeah, I know where Tucker's house is. Last year I was down. I used to swim every night.
You know the inlet, the little.
Yeah.
We used to stay down. Me and my
It was great, but I mean,
we used to get it for about $50.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
I think it's like $3.50 a night for the inlet. No, we have breakfast there at the outlet every morning.
Yeah.
But that's a great place. But I mean, the thing is, it's certainly not worth it. I like it because I like that part of the world. I like going by water. I like getting around. It's wonderful. But right now, 2 weeks is a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
You're in it for.
Now you're probably just doing weekends.
Well, you're into it for $15K just for the renting, and then you rent a golf cart because I can't.
Well, you gotta have a golf cart down there.
But to your point, I look back and say, should I have bought a place down there? I could have bought a place there.
You probably should have.
Well, here's the problem. My friends who bought a place lost it during the hurricane, and they're not covering it. I could have bought a place for maybe $350,000, $400,000, which right now those places are $1.5 million. But here's the problem. I wouldn't have I don't go down there enough.
Right.
I wouldn't have used it, and then I would have had to worry about Airbnb down there.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my Airbnbs up here, which take enough time as it is.
Right. You couldn't do it.
And like my place in South Carolina is a condo that I walk away from, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about the roof. I don't have to worry about this. I leave the AC on, and I spend $50 a month in power, and when I get there, everything's there, and I don't have to worry about it. So, I mean, it goes back to what we talked about, or should have talked about. A large boat, a plane, you rent, you don't buy.
Right.
But that's simple. A vacation home that you're going to go to a month a year, you rent, you don't buy.
Right.
That's it. Because then if a hurricane comes, you go, I hope it makes it.
Yeah.
But if you're
go the next year.
Yeah, but you're not worried about it because it's not your business.
Right.
So the bottom line is, even though it'd been great, you could make some money, I don't think it would have been a bad investment.
Did you catch the last time we went there? Did you catch anything?
Oh, we caught a ton of carp. I fish every day with Frank's son Cody.
Okay.
How's Frank doing?
Frank's doing amazing. He is.
Did you ever give him his ring? I
did.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Yes.
Okay. Did he like it?
He did.
Okay.
He loved it. He is a hoot. He is.
Because if you didn't give him to him, you can just tell me. You don't have to
I gave it to him. I know
how scatterbrained you are.
No, I gave it to him because I was at Island when I gave it to him. He is such a good guy. He is such a hard worker.
Oh, he is. He's the epitome. He's absolutely the epitome of a guy who made it on his own with hardly any help and just through busting his ass.
He was an orphan, and he has done so well.
I've got an idea. Time to man up. I gotta poop so bad. Man up and be brutally honest.
And you're calling me crazy?
Or I'm gonna kill you. We now return to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Kevin Hazelwood in to the top of the hour, and then Anna does her thing.
Yep.
I'll be in Ocala pretty much all weekend, Lummy. I got a big race going on. I think it's the 604s, the Ironman series, the street stocks, the V8 Thunders, the 4.6s, the wingless mini sprints.
Sounds awesome.
Do not forget the Weenie Nationals.
Oh, yeah, it's the Wiener Nationals.
Beanies.
For wiener dogs. And there's cash and prizes on that, too. And only wiener dogs And don't try to bring in your dog that's not a wiener dog, because like wiener dogs are just wiener dog. Like, you know.
It's a pretty easy weeding out process.
Well, I know there was actually somebody a couple years ago that tried to bring some
kind of lab,
like a Jack Russell.
They identified as a wiener
He was
dog.
like exactly
one of those pit bull dachshund mix.
But
With the big ass head.
I think Kevin said it best. I'm surprised it's a regular dog that identified as such, and so. Please, only wiener dogs, and you just can't, like, it's a wiener dog or it's not a wiener dog. Like, you shouldn't even, like, wiener dogs are so, like, wiener dog. Meaning, like, you can't think that a wiener dog is any other kind of dog.
You can't fake the funk.
No, you can't fake it on a wiener dog. Speaking of which, how is your little wiener dog doing?
She is good. She's sleeping right now. Getting ready for her big race tomorrow.
Think about dachshunds and how
she's gonna shoot up some steroids.
Yeah, do some
I got her on the
all juiced up.
I got her on the mock.
All juiced up.
I got her on the mock. I got her on the Oh no!
Protein shake.
So let me. First of all, Kevin, what do you think about RFK? Junior. I mean,
RFK Senior's not going to do very well this year.
Right. Yeah. I mean, probably the only living RFK. Well, I mean, I like the guy.
He's interesting. Can I interject one thing that I forgot to tell you?
Of course.
So I'm in court yesterday in Hillsborough County.
Zoom Willie or?
No, this is a straight up in person looking like $1 million.
Tied up.
All tied up.
I mean, zooted and suited.
Just to the 9s, to the 10s, maybe to the 12s.
Let me maybe ask a few more questions with somebody that you're familiar with.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that has a lot to do with a lot.
Yeah. Yes, I knew him as a private lawyer. Have not really. I think first time appeared in front of him as a judge.
Okay, but
known him off and on for 30 years.
Have you done depositions against him?
No.
Okay. Have been tried against him?
No.
So just kind of knew of him.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So he's now a judge, and you're appearing.
Yes.
In front of him.
Yes.
For a ruling, an order.
Just continuing a case that's probably going to work out.
Okay. Meaning like getting him up to speed on what's happening in the case.
Exactly.
And you guys are close to mediation.
Yeah, close to resolving it. We're going to work it out with the prosecutor. We're going to cut a deal, and it's going to work out good. And he's going to say we're good.
All right. And so at that point, you're just getting him up to. Is it just kind of getting the judge up to speed?
We're in and out. I just basically say we need 3 weeks. Look, is this date good? Yeah, it is. Great.
All right, perfect. Now, is your other counsel there too?
Opposing counsel's there, yeah, and he's fine. So the courtroom. Let me give you. The courtroom is packed. There's probably...
Oh, which one is it? Is the main one where we were?
Main one, exactly, Hillsborough County. There's probably, 18, 20 lawyers on deck to get on. The audience is filled, probably 60 people in the pews. They
got a big processing day.
And then you got everybody in the orange and the jumpsuits to the left, of the kind you almost wore, and that's on the left in the jury box. And they're all shackled up.
The one that you saw me cry, and I was holding your hand so hard. That one, yes. Go ahead. Anyway, continue on. I've got a show to do.
The word is whimpering, but go ahead. So they're all there, shackled and buckled and all up to my left, and I get my new date, and I turn to walk away, and all of a sudden the judge goes, "Mr. Hazlett, could I see you, at the bench?"
Oh,
and I turn right, and then. When someone says, I want you to approach, that means you're going to go at sidebar, which means you're going to have a conversation, typically off the record. Sometimes it's on the record.
Do they let you know?
But after a deal, most of it's always off the record.
Do they tell you?
They do. When you go up there, the judge will say, "We're on the record, we're off the record."
Okay.
Because sometimes I'm up there talking about fishing and we're off the record.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm talking about the side deal that I got to bring the judge up to what's really happening.
Right. How the insurance company's acting.
That's off the record.
Right.
But with the prosecutor there, because you can't do it without them being there. And you're kind of explaining why we need to go here. And it might be because there's a situation with a confidential informant's involved, or it might be a situation with, there's a million things that could happen. But I get up there. I'm not directing it. He's directing me. I'm not sure why he's called me up there, which is kind of strange. And then the prosecutor goes to come with me, and he says to the guy, "No, I don't need you. I just need you stand over there." But not in a negative way, but in a directive way.
Right.
And there in Hillsborough, you got to go up like 3 levels up to get to where the bench is.
Right, because he's on a big riser.
Yeah, so I'm coming up there, basically stopping for oxygen because it's so way up there. So I'm coming up there, and I'm getting up to the top, and gets there, and he puts his hand over the microphone. He goes, "Hey, Kevin, I got to ask you a question." I go, "What's that?" He goes, "We were all talking, yesterday, and we just really
and by we, he probably means fellow judges.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. But see, not everybody knows that. I'm glad I said that.
The we were like 5 guys in the back. When I say the 5 guys,
the 5 main judges, Figueroa, just the boys,
the people that would be at the top,
right,
of the inside team. So they're like, we're talking, and I need some clarification on what we have determined. The royal we have determined to be probably the best trial in the history of the Hillsborough County Courthouse. That was like we informally voted on it, and I'm like,
so they were like in the back of the judges' chambers, and they're like, hey man,
they're playing best
if we were to rank the best trials that all of us bozos that all of us have had to do collectively, because we've all had them. 3 or 4 or 5 of them that shook Tampa Bay and in whatever scam. What do you think the best trial ever to go through this courthouse?
Well, they were just talking, because they're talking about trial moments, and they were. This is like guys sitting on the porch, arguing, best '80s song or best rock and roll song or whatever it is. Everybody's like kind of say, oh, that's nothing. They're crap. So they're talking this, and he's like, we're talking about like the best trial in Hillsborough County, and. We had different categories, and this is why we thought, and basically, they said the hog trial.
Wow, Bubba.
But the reason
was the dead pig walking.
Well, no, but that was just part. I mean,
one of Kevin's famous lines: "Dead pig walking."
Well, there were 2 things that they highlighted. One was they were talking about the fact that the prosecutor, Daryl Dirks, who, by the way, has elevated himself, just so you know, Bubba, in the state attorney's office right now. He really is the man there.
Oh, I love him.
There you go. He's the greatest. No, but he's really, and I like Daryl a lot. He's been a straight shooter to me, and he's always been good.
But it is Bubba 1, Daryl nothing right now for those scoring at home.
I understand.
Thank you.
So Daryl's a prosecutor, and he's a big-time prosecutor for him, but he's trying the case. And I know you know the story, but they said there's 2 defining moments. The first is the one where Daryl's asking the witnesses question, and he's going through it, and he's referring to the pig as Andy. And he's like, and Andy felt this, and Andy did this, and he's really trying to make this pig sound like he's a victim.
And by giving him a name.
By giving him a name and personalizing him. And it's like,
Did the pig have a name?
Yeah, but he had a name for like 20 seconds.
I mean, he had a name that was given to him by me right before we killed him.
That was it. This is like
again.
Not like
Kevin's right. He had about a 20-second name.
He was not raised as some suckling pig that was on the teat of the mom that was raised like Wilbur, and some heartwarming story about Charlotte's Web. No, this was
really just a wild ass pig digging up somebody's property.
Exactly.
Wild boar.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, wild boar.
A nuisance. Animal,
and had broken into somebody's that a guy was paid to trap off of somebody's property who was digging big boreholes.
That may have gouged or gored a wiener dog.
Exactly.
This is how bad a pig was.
Not a wiener dog.
Right.
So they're trying to develop.
Sorry for the outburst.
Try to develop this personality, this pig, and I could see sitting there because I'm like head on a swivel. Watching the jury.
By the way, Kevin usually has like one of his legs crossed. He has a pen clicking back and forth in his mouth, and then he'll scribble down some notes, and then he'll get laser focused, and then boom, scribble down some more notes, and then laser focused.
But you're reading the jury.
Am I right?
Yeah, but you're reading this jury because there are obviously people making a decision, and I could see they started like, and when this happens, it's not good unless you're the person doing it. They started leaning in, and literally it's like a centimeter, it's an inch. And then it start moving forward, and I could sense it's getting traction. But this traction time is over about a 2 to 3 minute period. And I'm like going, I got to stop this in my head. So he's like, Andy this, Andy that, Andy this. And finally, I spring on my chair, and I scream. And I don't think I've ever screamed this loud before. Objection! I screamed it.
Hold on, Anna. And just think
about this.
Now, hold on. But hold on. When he says he did that,
you have no idea.
He didn't just do. He looked like Andy Kaufman doing it. Like it looked like literally
Kramer
he was
coming out of a room.
like he was coming unglued.
Hair
like
was all in his face.
Like
absolutely.
Like literally, like he was like just
Can
trying
you do
to.
a reenactment?
I can't.
He could not.
But I sprung up, hands like this,
and we're all like, "What in?"
I'm enraged. I got Brent on one side, Bob on the other. I screamed it, and the judge looked at me like, "What? Like everybody, like it's packed. There's like 5 cameras, all the cameras, zip, they're on my face."
And I mean, he's literally at the top of his lungs.
And I get just a scowl.
Yeah.
I'm I go,
and then hold on. And then so Anna, there was just this natural pregnant pause. Like Kevin didn't go objection and then go into what he's objecting. He really kind of objection, then kind of let everybody do a big scuttlebutt and a big, oh my God, what's going on? And like pregnant paused. And then
the judge looked at me because when you object, you have to change your why. And I go, hearsay. And then it was beat. I go, pigs can't talk. And then I got a little grin. And like, as soon as that hit, everybody looked, the judge looked, the jury bust out laughing. The whole courtroom is in tears. The judge is laughing, the jury's laughing, and it was like they immediately from leaning in, leaned back, and that was like a turning point. And they're like, and then the judge goes, yeah, come on, Mr. Dirks. This is, and then it was like,
rather than yelling at you for being disruptive. So, because normally, a judge could really yell at you for being that disruptive, could he not?
Oh, absolutely.
Could he not, Mr. Hazlett? Please, that is very inappropriate.
So this is not even a legal objection. But manufactured legal objection. But the point is, it completely put the trial.
Hold on, Anna, it's not even a legal objection.
But it threw the trial off on a course of like, this is a farce. Yeah. And it changed the whole look. So that was number one he talked about. The second one was he goes, did you play basketball?
So that he asked you? Or?
Yeah. And I'm saying, what are you talking about? He goes, well, the rumor has it, and I wasn't here, but he goes, the story goes, so this is pretrial motions. We're in pretrial motions. State's got 2 prosecutors. We're huddled up. Every co-defendant's got a lawyer, and we're arguing these motions about an audio tape on whether or not they're the voices of either Spice, Bubba, or Brent. And we're saying that's not their voice, that's theirs, that is, and we're going back and forth. And a third prosecutor came in, and it was the state attorney, Mark Ober.
Mark Ober. No, it was
the state attorney. So the elected official, the guy in charge.
And Kevin says, what are you doing?
So no, it's better yet. So he's behind me to my right.
Yeah.
So when he says play basketball, well, he's here trying to talk, and we're like a semicircle. Well, I'm boxing him out. So I am stepping in front of him.
Ass in his face.
Exactly. No, I'm bending like this way.
Oh, whoa.
So I'm pushing him back. He's bumping in, I'm pushing him back. We're literally like under the boards, and I'm pushing him back. And and I go, and he's talking, and I go, Judge, I don't even know who this person is, but they keep barking, and they're not on this case. Oh yeah. He comes unglued, red-faced. I'm the state attorney. And I go, I don't care who he is. He's not the lawyer record of this case. So you need to tell him to
get out of here.
So the
talk to the hand.
Judge Figueroa kicked him out. Yeah. So it was like, he goes, I've never seen anybody do that.
Nobody's ever kicked out Ober.
No, in the middle of the trial.
In the middle of the trial.
I'm like, so what,
Swerve hoe, yeah.
So you're on the Mount Rushmore of all time greatest cases.
Well, no, but it was because it invited,
and they're both about me.
Yeah.
It was the first trial that was gavel to gavel on the internet in the history of the U.S.
Yeah.
The first trial in the United States that was on the internet, gavel to gavel in the United States. So
I wish we had that footage.
You had court TV there.
Is there footage of all that?
I don't know. Your internet sleuth should find it. But first gavel to gavel,
forever, and it's hard to find.
The other thing that was interesting,
I don't know if you could probably go to court TV and see if you could buy it.
I bet you could get it. The other interesting thing was that the truckers. This is like going back to some cartoon. Wonder when twins activate. He activated all these truckers
to drive around the courthouse and do their horns the entire time during the day.
Exactly. So they are circling the courthouse.
Honk.
Exactly.
Yeah, like 20 truckers.
Just like a convoy, just circling. I mean, it was so interesting.
It was a clown show.
It really was.
It was a clown.
It really, really was. A real life. This is like reality TV before there was reality TV.
Amazing.
But I mean, but my point is, I just want to share with you, he came up and said, listen, we were talking about it. We voted the best trial in Hillsborough County Courthouse history. But because of the personalities.
And now I think Figueroa is the head guy over there.
Yeah.
I think he's the main senior.
He's a good guy.
It's just does our guy from, our man. God, what's his name? He may have retired a few years ago. Chet
Tharp, yeah.
Is he still?
He's doing great. I need to touch base with him. He's a great guy.
Is he still practicing?
He retired as a judge.
I heard he was doing some fill-in stuff.
Oh, he could.
Is that what a lot of times judges
They
will do?
They come in and they get paid. I don't know what they get paid today, like $5,000 or $1,000 a day to come in and sit.
Like when the other guys go on vacation.
Exactly.
Mommy, did we give the love to Hierarchy?
No, you have not.
Hierarchy, thank you for I think the $300 on PayPal.
Thank you.
I think $300 on PayPal.
Hall of Famer.
Lummy, let's go to words so we're not way late, and we got to end it with the Jesse Waters. Let Kevin look at that and give us his opinion. Kind of.
I'm the bus lady. Hey, lady! I was so constipated I could hardly drive.
Sounds like you should call and tell Bubba all about it. It's the low-priced answer to a high-budget problem. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
Kevin, what is your son's Navy SEAL class down to?
Think to the 30s. We're going out there next week.
The 30s?
Mm-hmm.
But how many do they take? 26?
No, they started with 200 something.
I know that.
Oh, they're down to 30 something. But remember, they also get people in between, like who got rolled back for medical reasons, and they bring them back into the deal. So.
How much longer does he have to do on that?
I think like 9 months.
Then he's done?
Well, done or just getting started.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Because at that point, aren't you usually a lifer?
I think it depends. And if there's what's interesting is if you get into that whole world, the way it works is that there are two levels. There are the folks that are on the numbered teams and those that are on the colored teams. And many years ago, well, I think you know the story about SEAL Team 6. The reason that SEAL Team 6 was really called SEAL Team 6 was during the Cold War to give the Russians the impression that we had 6 elite killing teams. I think we only had 2 at the time, but they named it SEAL Team 6 to give them the impression we had 6 teams.
Oh.
But which we really did. And now I think we're at 10 or 12.
Really, that many?
Yeah, but you have East Coast teams and West Coast teams. So if you look at the history, and all this is public record that you can read online, which is you've got the East Coast are at Little Creek in Virginia Beach, the West Coast are in Coronado, and they divide the world in half and respond to issues in that part of the hemisphere. So the guys on the East Coast team go east, obviously, and they go over to Syria and Africa. The West Coast guys would go to Taiwan. And
now, do they ever have any of the 10 or the 12? Do they have them? Are they abroad? Stationed abroad?
Well, they yes. So they can go there and do whatever the mission set is, wherever they're going. Whatever that is. But remember, their goal is to go in there, behind the lines, get in first, strike really very fast, strike hard. But what I was going to say is...
Right, so they're never really at any place at a long time other than home base.
They're not, no, rarely...
Right, I mean, they're dispatched out more than they're, they're dispatched out.
Yeah, the mission set for them is not necessarily to stay...
we're not going to be in this particular base for this.
That's more like an army position that's going to,
But where will his home base be? But
if whatever teams are, it depends if you're East Coast or West Coast. The other thing which is interesting, and I think I shared with you, I don't know if you got to meet, did you come to my event with Rob O'Neill?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, remember, did you meet him?
Yes, we had him on the air.
Yeah, he was a really good guy.
And he's the real deal too, isn't he?
He's the one that killed Bin Laden.
Right.
So he, very interesting, and I stay in touch with him, interesting guy. But then he left because he was enlisted. He left, and then after you've been on a team, a number team, you can go and then try to get in what's called DevGru. Of course, this is all stuff you can read on the internet, which is our equivalent of SEAL Team 6 now, because we don't call it that. And those are the folks that do the Captain Phillips, the black, what was that one movie about the guys who were caught behind enemy lines? Lone Survivor, and Bin Laden. Those guys do those types of missions. And those are the elites from the teams, and you got to try out to do that.
But it's the longer you go, probably the more elite you can become.
Well, you've got to try out for that other team.
Right.
So if you get on that team, they are the top in the world, really. But it's fascinating. I'm going through. I'm reading a lot of books on it right now. It's just fascinating. This is a thing that I probably would not have learned a whole lot about. Like I'm also learning about Abrams tanks. I didn't know a lot about Abrams tanks.
Oh, really?
They're fascinating. So my youngest is going to be in charge of 4 Abrams tanks. It's amazing their ability, how fast they can.
How fast can they go?
55 miles an hour.
Really?
It's crazy. It's crazy. You look in Ukraine that Russia has lost, or USSR has lost almost, I think it's 50 some odd % of their tanks. And they consider themselves to be a ground force. That's their forte, is more of a ground force, not an air force.
Yeah.
And they've lost like 50% of their tanks. So, that makes it very, very difficult for them. They're taking a beating on there. And the way their tanks are made, but they don't protect the people in the tank. So they're like, it's a different design.
70s and 80s too, aren't
yeah,
they?
And you can, a well-placed, missile, those javelin missiles, can kill everybody inside because everything blows up. And they have always had the idea that sacrificing human beings, go back to World War I, World War II, they didn't care. Look at how many Russians died in World War II.
It's true.
It's crazy amount. Crazy amount.
It says like a lot of the ones that 40% of the ones they lost were.
When we were in Serbia a couple months ago, you had a large number of the folks who were draft age, left Russia to live in Serbia. So I think their population increased.
Guess what? Time for insults aplenty. And they're all from the heart. Collateral damage of the truth. Bubba the Love Sponge.
It's amazing how fast the time flies with Kevin. We cannot even cover news stories. Just talk about what we've accomplished and how many stupid decisions I've made that you told me otherwise.
Sounds like its own show.
Yeah, it does. It pretty much does sound like its own show. A lot of people don't realize is that you're how many kids are? Is it 2 of the 4 of your sons are in the military, or 3?
2 of the 4 are, and then my oldest lives in New York City. He's in finance. He's the guy that's doing really, really well.
Hold on, he lives in
Yeah, he's the one that's doing well, as opposed to the other one that only owns 7 homes.
Right.
So,
but
as opposed to one who's going to be a Navy SEAL, opposed to the other one that's 30 by 30.
Captain.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But who's the toughest?
Probably
the Navy SEAL dude.
Well, let's not talk about. I can't talk about him, so let's not talk about him. But they're all
like classified Willie stuff.
Well, you can't.
I understand.
But they're all equally tough. They're equally competitive. And I think that it's a very competitive.
Which one does Missy like the most? Because my moms always have a mom. Who do you think that Missy likes the most? And who would you think her answer would be? Asked who you like the most.
Hall of Fame Scout Big Up 25 in the Rumble.
I think you always you love them in different ways at different times for different reasons. I mean, you have your firstborn, which is your first, and you feel like super connected to. You have the middle child, which she was a middle child, so I think she connects with the middle child. Then you have the baby, the family, and it's just so interesting. You raise them the same; they're so different. They're just all very driven. They're very competitive with each other.
Which one of the 3 doesn't like which is the odd man out?
There's really no odd man out.
I know, but which 2 gang up on the other?
They don't really gang up. But they're not really ganging up. I mean, there was a time when they're
because they're highly competitive.
They're extremely competitive. I mean, the youngest, who's Duncan Pumpkins, what now 6'6", 230.
Jesus.
And he was like grappled at the West Point. Like he was came up second in West Point in grappling.
Oh wow! So he's pretty much a stud.
He boxed there and he grappled. I mean, and the other 2 would think that they beat him in a fight. But
which one did you have to give the most spankings to?
Oh gosh, probably the oldest. The third one was perfect child, and always my youngest. If you tell him to be ready, we're going to dinner at 7:00.
He's ready.
It's at 10 of 7. He's downstairs. He's dressed.
Right.
He's there.
How about the oldest?
The oldest one. He has a really strong-willed personality.
Which one? What's his name?
That's Logan.
That's Logan.
He's very.
That's not a good thing.
He's very strong-willed.
Strong-willed. It's a nice way of saying he's
now, Kevin,
a-hole.
In closing,
no, he says, but they're all. But listen, it's no different than Tyler. I mean, you.
Tyler doesn't like me. He didn't talk to me anymore.
That was not the movie.
Well, actually, I don't know. It kind of ebbs and flows, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure.
It does. Well, listen, it'll ebb and flow back.
Well, there's the show, everybody.
No, come on.
Thanks a lot, Kevin.
I'm glad we got to the RFK deal.
We had Alex Hines' boxing events canceled.
Yep. All right.
Who cares? I'd much rather just BS with Kevin. I don't care what the hell you might say. Anna Hummel, you're next.
I sure am.
Headed to Ocala. Let me enjoy your weekend,
You too,
Red.
Bubba.
I'll see you at the Wiener, maybe Nationals. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Macho Man, have a good weekend. Anna, we'll see you in about 30 minutes.
Bye.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
Me, Bubba the Love Sponge.
Co-host and show historian Lummox.
Co-host Anna Hummel.
Co-host Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council.
Co-host J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Brett, the filthy ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
And for everything else, go to thebubbaarmy.com.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repeat hello. I'm back.